Hell yeah, dude. I think
All right.
allow exit out of that last one.
All right.
There we go. And let me post it on the group real quick. Does anyone else? Someone wants to join this call? And then there we go. Perfect. Wait, did he join?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Excited,
By the
dude.
way, I'm dropping my brother off at school, so if you guys hear a little ass kid, that's
No worries.
That's fine.
Hey, Sabbath, to what you were saying, man.
Mhm.
First of all, let me check if this is recording here.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. First of all, I really like what you said about the micro expressions. Whenever I had a paint booth construction business for like cars and stuff like that. I think that was when I was like 18 or 19 years old. It was pretty young for that endeavor. But I would go to shops. I'd like be like, hey, you guys need a paint booth. Da, da, da. Bro, my business partner was like, oh, I think we signed him. I was like, no, dude.
No, we did not.
I
Yeah.
automatically could just see the guy's expressions, the guy's facial expressions, his micro expressions. Just like, no, this guy's clearly not it. Like, it's so easy to, like, once you start doing this for a while, you can see who's interested, who's not. You can read like micro expressions, and it's crazy. It's such an important skill to have because identify, like, see, I feel like you can like logically or analytically analyze people's, way of being, if they're going to fit in with you, if they're on the same frequency. You can just tell that all in the face.
Yeah, instantly. And I guess another consequence of this is people that aren't like, dude, I told you, I commented this before, people that aren't men just bore me to death. It's like I'm trying to like sort of kindle a fire, just trying to put some life into them, and just the output that you get is just just monotone. It's like, man, I hate that shit so much. Another thing is, like, I'm pretty like all over the place. Like in terms of ADHD scale, I'd say I'm about the fucking peak, right? The top of the mountain in terms of the effects of it, which it's fun. Life is exciting. But if I'm just in a social environment, like I find myself so many times just sitting there like with 10 other people and they're just like talking about nonsense. And I'm just like, why am I even here? I would rather be home just like chilling on my bed, because whatever I have going on in my head is just way more exciting than these people. So you do become desensitized, I guess, to a lot of things, and you just have to train that. You just have to train it to just sort of be. But here's another thing: since I have such a rampant ADHD, I also have, what is it called? BPD, borderline personality disorder, meaning I can just go in any group of people and just kind of like blend in, just become one of them and just get along with them. Like I can chill with like the royal fucking family of England, and I can also chill with like fentanyl addicts, right? Like I can figure out a way to just kind of blend it. Obviously, I'm not going to do fucking fentanyl, but I can just figure out a way to just fit into either groups. And I told this to John, and I think he also said he has something similar. It's like that also comes with like a sense of identity. Like it becomes almost like imposter syndrome is very, very prominent. Even if I'm doing what I set out to do, it just doesn't feel like it's me, you know. And it's not because I haven't identified who I want to be or what I want to be. I have, and when I'm doing those actions, it just kind of feels foreign. Feels like it's an imposter thing. Do you get that?
Dude, I can't express to you enough how much I relate to that.
Okay, good.
It's so funny because you guys hear me speaking English here, and it's so funny because my friends in the US, for example, have no idea that I speak Spanish. People here in Mexico don't know that I speak English. I've literally created like two distinct people. And then aside from that, also when I'm at work, dude, I'm around a bunch of like what can I say, like macho Mexicans, you know, like these guys are older, these guys are professional, these guys have college degree, a bunch of experience. They're fucking sales, like fucking just killer at sales, man.
And you adopt those characteristics, right? When you're with them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I incorporate them, and then I can decide if I want to adopt them according to the situation. It's so cool because I feel like every social situation is just a way for me to learn things, integrate it, and then if I want to express it, if I want to fit in, now I have gotten those tools from those interactions that I've had, from being in that environment that I have. Now it takes me a while to adjust. Not so long. I can adjust pretty quickly, but like in this case, now I've completely been adjusted to my job, and I'm like, as a result, because of my boss, because he was also like pressuring me to make that adjustment, it's been extremely helpful. And
But good.
going to what you said, you have ADHD, man. So I think we were talking about, how we're going back to what Tristan said as well. Oftentimes when people make like a sale or something, they have those like jittery emotions, like go very happy, very low, very personally. I have really bad ADHD as well. I suffer from that, or I used to suffer from that. I found that the most important thing is to control yourself. I think stoicism is like what settles out those peaks, but extends the motivation for a long period of time. I actually had like something that I wanted to write in the group is that I think discipline comes from the peaks and troughs of motivation, motivation and like, just kind of compressed by compressed and stretched out by persistence, consistency. And that's what is known as discipline, in my opinion, because you have these constant, sometimes you'll have this super high, like peak where you're super motivated and the next day you're just low and you have no motivation. I think discipline stretches that out, but it's good that you have at least that fire, but it's important to prolong it for a longer period of time, because as soon as you prolong that motivation, you won't forget it, because once you're here, you forget the vision. It's not easy. You can't constantly go like this if you want to head in a direction. You have to just take those troughs and those peaks and then just like fucking compress it with stoicism and stretch it out with discipline. And that will inevitably, every single day, I think the motivations that are inspiring you on those peaks, if you can just not be so affected by them, but remind yourself of them every day still, that's what I would consider it.
That's perfect, especially when you said when you're like, especially when you said when you're low, it's just kind of, you just lose the vision. That's exactly what happens once I'm like below this baseline. And that could be from like, I don't even know, like forgetting to do something at work, or like not doing something I said I was going to do right below the line. And it's so hard to see the grand vision. That was dude, when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. And with the highs, with the peaks, for me, like I could respond to someone in this tribe, right? In this group, I can message them, I can comment on them, and then they just find that advice really useful. I get that fucking high, like it doesn't take much for me to get that high up. So that's the issue. When I said, you don't want to go up and down, I'm speaking to myself as well. Like when I get that much highness, when I get that much euphoria, supposedly, or I suppose from the comment, it's just like I'm right back down too. And you said you might be like super motivated one day and then the other. Bro, for me, it's like 30 minutes. It's like a 30-minute, 1 hour cycle. It's like crazy. It's insanity, man. I tell you. Obviously tools for that would be journaling. It would be, one time when we were on our last group call on Saturday, you said something about modes of being. I don't think you went into that, but could you do that? I feel like that would be useful.
Man, there's a lot of things I think we can all, by the way, guys, I just want to clarify, if you guys want to chime in as well, like feel free to do so. But yeah, modes of being, right? So I think it's so important for, like, I already wrote about this, so important for people to define their own character, because I think character, something that's, what defines a character is like a character is composed of how he does things. So for example, if you look at like your father, for example, what is his character? I can guarantee he's like, no, you got to clean your room. You have to do this. He's organizing, like he has a way, like, don't do that because this will happen. He knows the consequences. He's been around for a while. He's established his character. He's been sort of like what's called carved by his environment and all sorts of things. And so people have a very strong character, especially in places where the culture is still very, like, still thriving. For example, here in Mexico, I'd say that like there is actually a culture. In the US, people are very, like, even for their, like, people here have character at a young age. People in the US don't have character, dude. People are
exactly like, they're just walking zomboids. Because I work at a restaurant now. I'm just gonna cut you for a little bit. That's one of the things I say. I'm like, dude, you have 85 years of life experience, yet zero wisdom, zero character. What the fuck is going on? It's like insanity, man. It like sometimes I just like stand there and I'm just thinking like, what? Like they're 4 times my age, yet they're acting like 9-year-olds. Like, where's your manners? Where's your character? Where's your charisma? Where's your there's like, they can't take a joke. They can't be, they're just, oh my God, I don't want to talk about it. Go on. I know exactly what you mean, more than you can even imagine.
it's so funny because I look at ourselves right now. I'm so glad for this community because of this. I'm like, dude, we're all like, I'm 23. I think I might be one of the oldest people here. You're 21. I'm not sure what your guys' ages are. I would love for you guys to comment. I don't know, Tristan.
Yeah, I'm 23.
23.
Okay.
23. Yeah. So, dude, but like, think about that. Like, we're 23, and like, I see people who are extremely successful. I have a mentor, right? He has a Lamborghini and everything. But I look at him. I greatly appreciate him so much. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, 23, and I can identify like like, it's so funny because when you look at people and you see, man, I have a lot in common with this person, but my environment doesn't reflect it. Right.
Mhm.
So then you're like, okay, well, I might have a lot in common with someone who's extremely successful. If I put in the consistent discipline, eventually I will have the characteristics of their environment, because I think a Lamborghini or something like that is just a reflection of someone's self. I think your environment is a reflection of yourself, inevitably. So any environment that you're in, like, eventually you'll form your environment around who you are. And so that's why I think it's so important for people to identify their character, and people don't have character. So like just like you said, you'll see people who are way older than you and they haven't even identified like how they act. They just it's like, man, I can't believe you're 40 years old. You've had all this time to make adjustments. You've all this time to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Make adjustments, and you just haven't. They just haven't. And so sometimes I see someone who's older and like successful, and I'm like, dude, I already share the characteristics. Sure, I'm not in the right environment, but I know for a fact that just because of the mere indication that I am a lot like this person, I know by the time I'm their age, I'm going to be way more successful. So sometimes I look at people and I'm like, this person is successful, but how old are they? And I'm like, dude, well, I'm going to be more successful than that person. I know it sounds a little bit arrogant, but it's just something that motivates me, at least.
Good. You put what's it called? You did like question for you guys. You said 2 questions. You said what's unique element that you incorporate your routine, and what's something unique that people associate with you. I'll start with mine. For the unique element, which is the funniest fucking thing ever, is I've gotten so many people tell me that, dude, you're so patient. You're so patient. You're very patient.
Yeah.
I am very patient because I was the most impatient kid I've ever. I couldn't sit down for 15 seconds and focus. I was so impatient, whereas I had to learn to become patient. And now it's one of my strengths. I didn't do it on purpose. I'm like, oh, I'm going to learn how to be patient. It's just I was so ADHD, so impatient that I just kind of had to learn to sit and just kind of become patient. And now it's one of my strengths, which I find it fucking hilarious, because I would have even like a year ago, 6 months ago, I told people, I'm like, dude, I'm very impatient. I'm like impatient as fuck. And they're like, what are you talking about? I've literally worked with you for the whole day today. You're like the most patient person I ever know. I'm impatient in my head. I'm just good at controlling, not doing anything outwardly, you know?
Yeah.
And then for a unique element, honestly, when I'm doing like cardio or when I'm like working out, or when I'm dieting, when I'm like fucking hungry, dude, it's been so tough because I've been cutting down. Like I can feel the weight going down and I'm just getting hungry so much.
Yeah.
It's insane. When I'm in that place, I imagine, like, you know, those like fast paced like gym edits of people. I just imagine that of me. And then that helps me out so much, because I always listen to loud ass music, like music that you just want to fucking beat someone up, right? Loud, energetic music. I don't listen to it obviously throughout the day. I only listen to it at the gym. But when I'm in that mode, I just imagine myself with like a really loud, good song and an edit. And dude, that shit seals the deal for me. That shit keeps me going for another 30 minutes of cardio, another 30 minutes of not eating anything. Do you wanna tell us yours? I'm interested.
Well, mine personally is the journal, dude. I think everyone knows me at work now. Like, I always I'll lose my phone before I lose this journal right here. And it's a very methodical process. I've become very methodical, partially because of my father, something I didn't appreciate about him when I was younger, but I certainly do now.
Same exact way. Yeah.
Here. I have chess moves, right? So I'm gonna give you guys a quick understanding of why I have these chess moves. Every single day that I wake up and I accomplish, I hit my routine, right? I have this chess move back here and I make one move, right? So if I wake up at 4:30 and I hit everything on my routine, like I accomplish everything on my routine, the next thing that I'll do is I'll put the next move, knight to d4, for example, or something like that. And that is actually, I already have it all planned in this right here. I think this is something I want to share in the group. These are all the chess moves that I have to make. And it even says what match it is. This is actually Andrew Tate's father, who I like respect a ton, how smart he was. and his chess strategies with Alex, what was his name? Shablov, like one of the grandmasters, and he just had unpredictable chess strategies that were extremely aggressive, and he ended up winning that game. And so I'm like, I don't know what the game looks like, but I want to see what it looks like. And if I consistently wake up at 4:30, I'll make a chess move and I'll move in that direction. And that will be an indication to me that at least I'm following through with the game that I'm trying to play, and I will eventually win. And it's just something that I tie in. It's just like a fun way of having myself do this journal. And also this journal, I carry it with me everywhere I go. I think everyone at my work knows my boss is saying something. Like, for example, I'll be writing down what he's saying. And, people have a lot of respect for me because of that trait. And it also helps me tremendously. I think I've gotten to learn and incorporate some of the things, just reading back everything that I write down on a daily. So that's what I do personally. I would like to hear y'all's as well. If you guys want to chime in, please do. But yeah.
I just dropped off, my brother. Can you guys say 2 questions?
Yeah, so Michael just posted on the school a few minutes ago or an hour ago. He said, what's a unique element that you incorporate into your routine that's super effective? So for me, it's just like imagining that like short video, like loud, energetic. And then what's something like a unique element that your character has that people associate you with? That'll be interesting. I want to hear Tristan's.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Like unique or element that I implement. There's a few. Give me a second to just.
All right, I'll ask a question to Michael if that's fine with you. While you think.
Yeah.
Good. For journals, I was gonna say I tend to use my head as a filing cabinet a lot, like a lot. And then it gets to the point where like the filing cabinet just gets fucking thrown over the hill. I don't even remember it, right? I tend to forget a lot of things, not because I don't have like I'll remember something that happened 7.5 fucking years ago because I find it important to me, but I'll forget something that I set out to do 3 minutes ago. And with ADHD, it's like I also like bump into things a lot because when I'm here, for example, and I think of just I have to get up and go get something, I don't even take account the environment I'm in. I'm so focused on where I want to go physically. I like fucking bump into things. And I was like, why am I doing that? Like I'm a careful. Yeah, you bump into shit too, right?
I always do that.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the club. ADHD. I for the longest time, I was like, am I clumsy? Am I a clumsy person? Which I'm not. I don't break a lot of things. I'm not a clumsy person. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I watched the video of someone explaining it. They're like, oh, it's the ADHD walk. I was like, what? Like, dude, yeah, you're like here. Yeah, you're like here, and then everything around you just dissolves and you're there. And then you're moving, you fucking bump into something. That also happens with my thoughts. Like I could have the greatest whatever constructed, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings for it, and then like I just hear like a toaster going off. Not really, but I'm just making an example. I hear like a toaster going off. Immediately I go to that. Like my mind goes to that, completely negates what happens here. And it's a good thing because you tend to like move on from things quickly, especially if you combine it with like logical thinking. Like something happens to you, you can like move on. Like another thing is like if someone cuts me off on the road or if someone does something and it like pisses me off, it takes me like 45 seconds and I completely forget it. I even forgive the person. I'm like, whatever. So it's good, but also it's a fucking slippery slope. What do you have to say about that?
Well, dude, I've actually solved that a little bit to some extent. I know. First of all, I think ADHD. I want to make a post about that. By the way, I'm going to make YouTube videos. I haven't been making YouTube videos because my phone right now, every time I try to record, I've probably tried to record like 5 videos now, and I'm like halfway, and then it just cuts out because my storage. So I'm getting a new one probably on Tuesday, and then I'll start posting everything on YouTube, probably like a video a day, seriously. But I wanted I actually have a very good solution to that point. I talked it with Dante. By the way, Dante, I just want to mention you guys. Dante is not in the community. I hope he will become a part of the community eventually. I also want to get, after I make my point here, what he does. I think he has a very individual, very unique element to his routine. He hasn't slept yet. He's if I'm not mistaken, Dante, you literally, I think, wake up like way later. He's like a literally a nocturnal creature, bro. But he works like crazy, man. Like this guy's crazy efficient at what he does. So, you know, he's also got that element, like can focus mad and just stay up at like crazy hours of the night doing that sort of thing. I think it's something that I want to get into. But as for the solution that you had, or the solution that I had for your problem, because I also dealt with it as well. And trust me, it was something that was like debilitating. So I took the approach. I analyzed it very well. I ended up going with psychiatrist, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm taking ADHD medications, and I will say I see zero effect. Like I don't feel different. I can sometimes forget my meds for 2 or 3 days. Nothing feels different, except I realize that on a long enough basis, I'll start forgetting things. Things will be less like I'll start leaving a lot of loose ends, for example. And the reason why is because it's very interesting. I'm gonna get into this as quick as I can, but essentially what happens in brain someone who has ADHD is that there's a part of the brain, I think it's like the amygdala or something like that, or something that is the same part of the brain that is also responsible for balance, is the same that part of the brain is actually weaker than most people. And as a result, of course, we obviously will form our behaviors and adapt our modes of being, you know, just our habits and stuff like that, according to our weaknesses and that sort of thing. But essentially, you know, we have some advantages, we have some disadvantages. And in our case, as people with ADHD, we have that disadvantage to where we, you know, obviously forget things, but we have the advantage where we have more energy than other people. So our brain compensates. Now, if you can strengthen that part of the brain through meditation, through balance exercises, because strangely enough, balance exercises actually improve that part of the brain, you'll start to actually improve that. I started balancing exercises. I started drinking a lot of coffee. Coffee does nothing to me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try these meds out. I did a lot of very careful investigation. And this is something that you guys should keep in mind. If you have ADHD, if you take a certain amount of dosage, like a very specific dosage according to your weight, they found that, for example, in rats, if you took too much, if you took too high, it's like nanograms per deciliter. If the nanograms per deciliter were too high, then what happened was it actually became a neurotoxin. So essentially your brain would become dependent on it. But now if you took just the right dosage, it wasn't too little, but it was just like the right dosage, your brain would actually it would strengthen that part of your brain. It would be a neuroactivator, essentially. It would cause neurogenesis. Yeah, neurogenesis. It would form that part of the brain. And they found out that for people less than 25, after they took those meds for a couple of years, it actually just strengthen the part of that brain permanently. And so that's the part of the brain that's responsible for that forgetfulness and that sort of thing. So that's why I'm taking those meds, because I've seen tremendous advantage. I've solved that problem that you're describing. And as a result, what happens is that I think I started taking the meds like 4 months ago. Dude, my life has completely changed. I have to be honest. Like, I don't notice it in the current moment. The way I think, everything is sort of just the same, but I don't leave too much loose ends. I feel like my thoughts are slightly more organized. I don't notice it in the moment, but I notice it collectively after a long period of time. It's like, okay, yeah, this Michael this week and this Michael this week with the meds, yeah, at least, you know, got to complete the tasks. He wasn't forgetting as much things. So that's my recommendation, man. You know, obviously, I think people are very hesitant nowadays if they don't do research. But in this case, in this specific case, if you take the right dosage of the right sort of medicine, and if you truly have ADHD, which obviously I think you do, because, you know, even borderline personality disorder, it's also an indication of the weakness in that part of the brain that is strengthened by these medicines, which are the perfect solution to what you're looking for. So
yeah, I'll definitely try out first before I get into research, like those balance exercise meditations, because I've been slacking on meditations, not gonna lie. When I do meditation, it just like, it feels like I took that right dosage of medication for me personally.
True.
I mean, I think I can get to, like, let's say 60-70% effectiveness, or where you're at now with medications, if I really focus on meditating and balance exercise. I could be wrong. I never know. I think I tried like a different, weaker version of Adderall once or twice. And one of the more things I noticed is, yes, I'm able to focus on the one thought I put in front of me. I can just focus on it. But everything else was just kind of quiet. There was no like abrupt like thoughts and like sometimes music lyrics and stuff coming into my head. It was just kind of like still. It was like still, compared to now where it's like a fucking fast flowing river, right?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like a lake. That's how I felt it. That's what I felt it. But I don't know, man. Like you said, I am kind of hesitant on
Yeah.
anything like that.
You know,
But
I,
since go ahead.
the reason why that happens, dude, don't just try one, man. Try
Mhm.
methylphenidate. Try a whole bunch of things. Even different brands will have different effects, surprisingly, even though they're the same compound.
Mhm.
But I just tried a bunch of things and I found the right one that was because I felt that effect as well. Sometimes I had bad moods and it wouldn't help me focus at all. And so I found something that I was like, this isn't working. And I'm like, wait, I didn't forget anything today. It's like, holy crap, this is working. Then I just didn't forget anything. That's pretty much it.
And it's not for here. I'm going to tell you another thing. It's not that we forget things. It's because our brain is just like, this is unimportant, uninteresting. I don't give a fuck about it. This is
Exactly.
more interesting. And you immediately go to this one. It's not that you forget or I forget. It's just the brain is just like so misaligned with the thing. It's just like, what? It just goes the other way. That's why school, dude, especially in my later years and especially in the first year and a half of university, which I quit, by the way, I was just sitting there and I was just in awe. I was in amazement. Like 80% of the kids in my class were just fucking coasting by. They had no direction, no willingness to learn. They had nothing going for them. Obviously, me neither, but not because I was just like going with emotions. I was just so disinterested. The way they did labs, the way they did assignments, it's just like some robot is in front with 90 people. She doesn't give a shit if you learn or not. She's just there reading out. Dude, oh my god, if I show you guys, I did computer engineering. That's what I was gonna do. Bro, the things you have to memorize, like what voltage goes in this circuit and what the risk, like I was like, why should I give a fuck about what voltage is like, you know what I mean? I was just like, this information, or especially calculus, like calculus 2 and then fucking calculus 3. I was just like, why do I care about fucking differential equations? What is this going to solve for me in life, right? I was just like, why am I here? What's my purpose on this with this existence? And I'm here learning about fucking anti-differentials. I was like, hell no. It was like torture. It was so misaligned with where I wanted to go. I was just in amazement. Midterm yesterday. Yeah, no, my first of all, because I hated it, I sat down, like I was like obviously slacking, and I had to get like a 95 on my final exam to pass the class. For calculus 2, I sat down for like 6 hours straight and I got 105%. Fuck you, you know what I mean? Like it's not because I wasn't smart enough to comprehend it. It's just it was like torture to my brain trying to study for it.
I want to get into that. I think this is something that you guys can all relate to, possibly. I think the thing is, and this is something that is even going to tie into a larger point. I actually had redacted a list of points that I wanted to get into, sort of, in this call, so we can direct it more towards money and practicality, but more so that what you're seeing there is, first of all, obviously, there's people who just, I feel, don't have a consciousness. Like I literally have felt that, but more so than anything, there's something to us, and especially I think a lot of people in this community, you could say have ADHD. I'm not even sure if you could put that term ADHD behind it. It's just we want something higher. We want something practical, and we're tired. We're sick of being in environments where we're like, what the hell is the point of this, dude? That was my school experience all throughout high school, all throughout middle school. My entire academic life has been like that. As soon as I got into architecture, boom, fucking top of the class right away. Not even a question. I just didn't even know, like, academically, speaking a language that I wasn't 100% yet familiar with, I would just surpass everyone, dude. And so the thing is, us with the problems that we're facing, we want something that's absolutely stimulating, but it's not stimulating. It's not stimulating if you are learning theories that can't be practically applied. I think the practical application of theories is the best way to satisfy that intellectual desire, because I think a lot of us want to stimulate ourselves with, learning new ideas. That's why we're in self-improvement. That's why we're looking for all these sorts of ideas, trying to stimulate ourselves, going to the gym, all sorts of shit. But at the end of the day, if you find something that's very complex, a very complex idea that's applicable practically, dude, that'll be extremely stimulating. I found my niche personally, because I see now the practical application of the, of my skills, for example, and some of the intellectual theories that I had, maybe that I indulged in a, what's called, did I lose my train of thought here? No, I just see that, and it's extremely stimulating. So and it's extremely rewarding. And and I'm seeing how I can actually. I feel like I've been able to find an environment because of that, because of observing, seeing the feedback in my brain. Oh, I don't like this environment. This is too theoretical, but not enough practical. Placing myself, where does my skills, or where do I align? How am I like identify my character, doing all these sort of things to align myself and pinpoint and find the perfect position to where the essence of my entire being can be channeled into this one job where I have the maximum amount of effect. And that's why also I'm a sales coordinator, because as a sales coordinator, I realized like everything that I'm doing, like the only step up from here is just the manager, essentially, just administration. But now the essence of my being, because of all the work that I've done to place myself in an environment that was stimulating, because that's what I've done all my life, is trying to just find the perfect place. Now I am in the perfect place where the things that I do, the way that my mind works, can perfectly affect the outcome, and the outcome being practical, the outcome being money, dude, it's the most stimulating thing to me. So that's why I feel like I've found a good position, and I'm creating a lot of businesses and taking a whole bunch of endeavors. But I think that's what you guys all have to do, is find that connection, because trust me, we're gonna get bored as hell if we don't. And we're going to just feel like we're just living meaningless lives. And especially when you're around a whole bunch of people who are that way, because I don't know what it is. I feel like some people just aren't born with the consciousness. It might be some genetic factor that attributes us to being ADHD, or like higher, I don't know, testosterone in the womb. Who knows, bro? But there's a lot of people out there who are just directionless, like you said. You ask them 3 questions about their purpose, you can't even get 3 lines deep into them. Why are you doing this? Oh, I don't know. Why are you doing that? Oh, I don't know. Oh, because I want to get better grades. Why do you want to get better grades? Oh, because I don't know.
Oh, we got a good job. Dude, there was this kid in front of me who we were studying for calculus, and this dude used to watch fucking like nature cooking, like, on YouTube where they're cooking in nature. This fucker used to just watch that the whole class. I'm like, what are you doing here, dude? I would rather you like go skip class and fucking smoke weed. Just go do something else. Why are you here? I would rather you do that, because you're going to derail your life so much that maybe you hit a rock bottom. But these people are just like so in the middle, so just like going with the flow, that they don't even hit rock bottom. That's the sad part. They don't even hit rock bottom. And the reason why, here's another thing. It kind of connects to that highs and lows. The reason why people like us hit rock bottom is because we're also capable of hitting the top. You understand? People that without that consciousness that just go woo 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 in the middle, they're not capable of hitting rock bottom or hitting the top of the top. We are. And usually to get to the top, because the world around you is so hell-bent on just fucking beating the shit out of you, beating that consciousness out of you, it always hits rock bottom, and a few of us are strong enough to go up. It's never you go up and then you hit rock bottom. Sometimes it is like, athletes that make $100 million contract, they go up here and then immediately right back down. So it's about that scale, man.
I really love what John is teaching here, aggression fitness, dude. I absolutely love the idea of aggression, dude. Aggression makes us take risks, dude. I see people even who consider themselves entrepreneurial, but they don't take high enough risks. Dude, I moved out here to Mexico when I was 21. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. I moved out here because I saw an opportunity to become like do marketing and stuff like that. I just balls out, dude. Balls fucking out. And right now I'm like, dude, it's those highs and those lows. I've experienced it all just because I've taken the aggressive decisions. Sometimes I'll do something a little bit crazy, risky. It's like, why are you doing that? But it's that aggressive character that will put you ahead in life. I think they did a study on billionaires, for example. All of these billionaires are extremely bold people. I think bold is one word that can greatly characterize them. These guys are willing to do crazy. Look at drug lords. I think drug lords aren't a good example, but personally, I kind of like that, like sort of like Netflix Narcos vibe. That's kind of like the character integration that I'm looking for. But that's also why I put that in the posts.
Yeah.
But essentially, those guys are all bold. The guys who make money, the guys who make things happen, the guys who have exciting lives, dude, are aggressive. And people need to be more aggressive, dude. My best friend was very aggressive, man. Extremely aggressive, more so than I was. Now I'm starting to incorporate that a little bit more since shit happened. But yeah. Tristan, I think you had your hand up a while ago, by the way, right?
Yeah. I was gonna.
Dante, sorry that you haven't gotten to chime in. Let me know.
Yeah. I was gonna add on to the conversation, but also my hand was raised for the 2 questions. But yeah, having the aggression has benefited me like so much, because before I was like on my spiritual base, like no aggression, no ego, and then realizing like it's good. Like I used to think that it was bad to have aggression, or like be like that. But if you can control it, like Saba said in the last call, like a man, I might butcher it, but like being able to control your aggression and like put it into something is like that's good and shit like that. And yeah, I really appreciate John
Yeah,
making the community.
you have to first develop aggression before you sit by the river playing a ukulele.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah, no,
do that
because
first, then
yeah.
that's just gonna lead you nowhere. But you
I mean,
have to be aggressive. It's more impressive for someone like John to just
Yep.
like sit there and meditate than for
Yep.
some like fucking twink at PetSmart.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just
Literally.
it's
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
thought about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
think about that. Like the person who's so aggressive, but who can also sit down and meditate, even though they have this like very amped up mind.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. That's very powerful. I think
because
that's
a person
too of controlling those highs and lows is like that stoicism, having the aggression, but also having the stoicism to prolong that aggression, to make it discipline and make it the driving force behind the discipline and create consistency. Dude, that's fucking
because the calm, like meditating, like living out of a van pothead type of person can never reach the levels of aggression that we or John can. But we and John can reach his level of calmness and serenity and forgiveness. That's the whole point. They're just one extreme. The other extreme is obviously like an abusive person that just beats the shit out of that just goes to jail because he murdered someone, right? He can't control his aggression. That's one extreme. And then the tree hugger, pot smoking tree hugger is the other extreme. There's the two. But if you can, like you said, sort of compress it, be that aggressive person that doesn't beat the shit out of someone for cutting them off, and
use
also
both
be that
elements.
Yeah, exactly. But go ahead. What was your two? What's a unique element that you incorporate to kind of help you out, and what's a unique element that your character has, like internally? You either developed it from a young age or you're born with. What do people associate you with? Unique.
So the unique element in my past journey, even before this, was meditation, because I'm not like diagnosed with anything. Obviously, my parents don't believe in that shit, so we never just did that. But my mind would always be running off. I'd be distracted very easily. I'd let my emotions get to me. I couldn't control my emotions, and very, very like lost in a way. And meditation has helped immensely with that, with just being able to ground myself. Like if I say I'm like back then when I was like sad as fuck or getting mad or like just like couldn't grasp the situation, I would meditate, come to a clear understanding, like ground myself, and then come out with a clear mind and be fine. And also it would help with focus and just going the right way into a situation without like impulse or like I would just have a very clear vision on what I should be feeling and what I should be doing, and remember the purpose, or like remember what I'm doing. Like say I have a conflict right now and that shit's getting in the way of my path or like getting in the way of my day. I hit a meditation, come to a clear understanding, calm, and then I move on. And it's just like that. Like meditation is like it's definitely hard and like a little like some people think it's stupid when you start, but like once you like get to mastering it, it's very, very helpful. And then
Here's the thing, though. I think there's almost like the yin and yang dynamic here. If you can incorporate one, if you have aggression, but you also have the ability to control it, because the thing is, I think that it's great to have that meditation. But for example, something that I really like, for example, I see a very common theme, and this is something that I, much before I found John's channel, always said to myself. I always said, hard is the answer. Why? Because hard problems, putting hard things for you to try to tackle is extremely useful for you to determine. Obviously, once you put yourself in a hard situation, that's where you have to have the introspection to see what direction you're going to go in. And so that's where meditation can come into play. And if you can't meditate, if you can't determine, if you can't be introspective, then obviously you're going to have that aggression. You're going to go down a bad path. You're going to become criminal. You're going to do something stupid. But if you can channel that aggression, if you can take your time to be like, okay, let's pivot here. I'm going really fast. I can go really fast. What, just start aiming in the right direction. Start that self-alignment, that meditation practice I think will be amplified if you also have that aggression and that really, really fast pace, because you'll force yourself to have to be introspective and make the right decisions to go in the right direction. And that
Yep.
I think it's almost like you have like what's called like a very, let's see, like plumbing. It's like you have a very thin, what's called, you have a very
Like
large, but like,
Yeah.
but not enough water flow, it's like not enough
Yep.
pressure. That's like the way I'm visualizing. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but the thing is, if you're gonna have like a large pipe, you have to have a lot of flow too, to be able to like pull it well.
Yeah. Also, it like when I first started meditating, it definitely was to like get rid of all the other emotions. But from Saba, from fucking brute to force, like I've been diving into his shit hella, and like him talking about leaning in and like using the darker energies to your advantage and shit. Like you can meditate and use that aggression or anger and like transmute it in a way to
Yeah.
help you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
push and strive and just like it's not
Absolutely.
like meditation ain't all about just being all calm or like not calm but like happy in a way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I get you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I'm glad you fucking liked it, dude. He's a very
Dude, I've been on him every fucking day as I'm doing homework. I'm just listening and
Yeah.
replaying that shit.
Yeah, he's like he's like the complete extreme of what he's just like cut everything else off, just do this, just like it's good. No, you don't have to adopt everything he says. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
no,
would be
for sure.
foolish.
Some
But
of it's kind of
you can extract so much from it because he's that extreme on the other end. This is incredible. Like you can also extract from, that river hippie, and you can also extract from him. The two extremes you can always learn from, because the truth is always somewhere in the middle. That's how it always has been. Now, some elements you have to take from here, like and fully 100% adopt it, and some elements from here you have to fully 100% adopt. But you have to be sort of the wand, the channeler, and you have to put it somewhere in the middle.
Sorry to interrupt, but you were talking about how you transmute your energy when you meditate. How do you do that?
Let me see if I can like try to explain that. Just like the same way that you would transmute your energy in the gym, like you'd come into the gym. Like gym's also like low key meditating as well because of the breath work if you're breathing correctly and like channeling on the muscle. But transmuting the energy, it's just like, how would you boot that?
I mean, I don't think you can
What
describe
about
it
you?
really.
I mean, I'm trying to like I
It
really
just
want
kind
to
of does.
explain
It just kind of does it by that's who you are as a human being. That's your purpose. Being able to look at a situation that's kind of bad or not in your favor, and then being able to transmute that into something better. An animal isn't able to do that, right? Animals can't do that. Only human beings can do that. They look at something bad and they turn it into good.
I see it this way. I want to chime in real quick. For Dante's question, I think all forms of like sexual desire, for example, anger, happiness, these are all emotions, but with a polarity, a distinct polarity, for example. They're, so I think the thing is to just take that energy and, kind of like extract the energy from the energy with the polarity. I don't know if that makes sense. And
Like
kind
the
of just
raw energy?
What's up?
Yeah.
Like the raw energy? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the raw energy.
Think of it as like fire. Think of it as like a massive, huge pile of fire. And what you do, you just kind of put a furnace around it, and now you're melting steel. Now you're channeling it into something good. It's not, you can't explain the process of it. Like I said, your body just does it.
I'm gonna try to give an
itself.
example. I'm thinking right now.
What
Yeah.
like next time you get angry, instead of like punching, go straight to do push-ups. See how many push-ups you can do with the anger, right?
Yeah.
Or the next time you're like feeling like a strong sexual desire, you want to beat your meat.
Just like, yeah.
Just like go do fucking push-ups. Like see how much energy like you have. You'll realize that all those
Because where do you here's the kicker. Law of fucking thermodynamics, right? Where do you think that energy goes? Someone cuts you off on the road, right? You get angry. That anger doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear. It turns into something else. Like
Mhm.
physically, you know that this cup, if I were to smash it to bits, it's still gonna be the dust of this cup. If I burn it to fucking crisp, it's gonna go out into the air and it's gonna be ash. It doesn't disappear. Nothing disappears. Your ideas don't disappear. Your emotions don't disappear. Your feelings don't disappear either. They just change
Mhm.
into different things. And the more capacity you have to feel, like me, Michael, Tristan, John, you guys, we have a higher capacity to feel. We have a higher capacity to be like, we get angrier more than the average person. We get inspired more than the average person. We get motivated more than the average person. We also get sad more than the average person. All these things, because we have such a high capacity, you have to learn to direct it into a direction that you want. Otherwise, it's going to fling you the fuck off of your path.
Yep.
I'm going to tie in all of your guys' points. So, real quick. So, Tristan, I think the reason what you're so good at is, for example, determining that polarity with introspection, with being able to meditate. You're able to take energy and then just determine what direction you want to put it in. I think something that John really talks about is, for example, he always talks about just self-control and that sort of thing. Our bodies, for example, our minds are the ones who control our bodies, not the other way around. I think someone in the comment section put that the other day. And so I think that at the end of the day, Dante, that's what you have to do, right? Is you have to take that raw energy, and instead of because that energy will be turned into you by the external environment with already a polarity determined by your body, determined by your internal desires. And then you have to be with your mind, the one who controls the polarity afterwards. You get it, you extract the energy, and then you determine the polarity the same way that you can determine what you want to do with your body, the same way that you can push yourself, that exact same way, and using probably methods that you can learn through meditation. Like Tristan says, you can be able to direct that sort of energy in the place that you want. I think it's a skill. It's probably something that like maybe Tristan can give us more insight on.
I could do posts about it in the
you should. I mean, think of like prayer, meditation, prayer are very similar. If something bad happens to you, people tend to pray. And what does prayer do? Prayer is just a tool that allows you to go from sad, hopelessness states to sort of looking forward, to hope, to courage. That's what prayer does. Think of it as that. Like when you meditate, when you're transmuting this feeling, you're sort of like praying. Just that's the example I want to give. Prayer is very similar to that. But in terms of just changing those emotions, just meditate whenever you feel a high desire. Could be lust, could be anger, could be sadness, hopelessness, whatever, a negative emotion or even a positive emotion. Honestly, if you're like really euphoric, like you make a sale, instead of just being all giddy and telling everyone about it, just sit there, meditate, and go to a baseline of emotion. But while you're meditating, try to think of where you want to channel the energy. I think a visual for a different visual for everyone here could work well. Like for me, I would just think like a river of lava flowing down and where I would channel that into, or like fire kind of putting it there. Visualizations could help, like a tool to visualize, but no. Yeah, I did. But in general, it does come with a mind of just like calming meditation and introspection. That's about it. But how, giving you the exact details and the process, I don't know, homie. It just does it by itself.
Appreciate it.
So, does that answer your question, bro?
A little bit.
Also, your emotions are energy in motion, and like as Saba said, they just don't go away. Like an example I could give is like people doubting you or hating on you, just like how we were talking about in the one post. Like obviously you can not take the hate and just realize that these motherfuckers are down themselves, but you could also take that energy and be like, with someone doubting you, be like, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna show these motherfuckers what's up, instead of just having like, oh, they fucking, what am I doing wrong? Just like wallowing in your sadness or emotions, and like that's the way I want to put it, in a way. Like there's always many different ways of going about like emotions and situations.
So I have a question.
Yep.
So does it take energy to transmute the energy itself?
It depends. Like if you're working out, definitely, and the mental energy.
I think it's personally, I think that obviously you have to have the energy to transmute the energy, but the process, at least the process without itself, like the process without the energy is just the act of introspection, meditation, and and that sort of thing. That's at least my understanding. What was the quote that you just said here?
I think,
Your emotions are
go
energy in motion, right?
Yeah,
So
your
you can
emotions. Yeah.
the direction of the energy that's in motion, but if you don't have the energy first, well, you can't really transmute it, right? You can just and by the way, we always have a certain amount of energy, right? Just highs and lows energies, different types
True,
of energy. But yeah, I think obviously, I think this is not something like we always have something that we can just be introspective about and adjust. So
yeah, I think you'll always have enough energy to transmute whatever's going. Like even if like the worst, like the worst situation ever happens to you, you still have enough energy. You always have, as long as you're alive, you have enough energy to transmute that because the energy is just mental. I mean, if it's like a gym or if you do push-ups or if you go for a run to transmute that energy, obviously it's going to take more. But if you just need to meditate and do introspection, like what kind of energy is that? It's just mental discipline that you need to put in. And then what Tristan was saying, like you can have people hating on you, leaving like hateful comments. That motivates a person, right? Be like, I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong. But you could also have a positive comment, and that could also motivate you. So you see how the two extremes, a positive and a negative, both can motivate you. But a positive comment will kind of always motivate you, but a negative comment, depending on how you view it, could also bring you down. It takes more energy. Obviously, it takes energy to turn this negative into a
It's
positive.
definitely a skill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
like
skill,
something-
but you can take
interpreting how you want to, how you want to interpret and integrate that energy, right? And how you want to react to that, like how you want to react to the stimuli is just extremely important. And being able to be just, very in control of yourself to give the proper, like adequate response is just something that I guess we all have to practice. Obviously, I think that's
another.
I'm an when you're an extremely impulsive person, Sava, I'm sure because of ADHD, and this is something we have to work with, just controlling our emotions, controlling this sort of thing. So
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I have another sort of question that could lead into this. When you said like you just what did you say? It says it depends on how you want to perceive that negative emotion. Like it just all depends on you and what result you want to get. Sometimes I notice myself and like my salesman as well. My salesman is getting smarter, bro. I'm telling you, the smarter I get, my salesman is getting a little smarter. When I'm kind of faced, and I talked to John about this, is like once I get my initial work done in the morning, I go to the gym, I do cardio, I come back, have my first meal, shower, and sort of get ready. About like that midday time, I sort of switch off from that super motivated, super future vision forwarded person. I sort of switch off to more like to more casual, right? Obviously,
I feel that.
yeah, I obviously never even think about vices or doing anything bad, but I just turn more casual. I'm like, we'll see what my family's doing. Maybe I'll cook some food. Let's see, maybe we can watch something with them. Like, it's good. I really do think it's very good. I have a good relationship with my family, like really good relationship, especially because the people around me are like, dude, what? You think I'm going to be friends with these animals out there? Fuck no. So it's good that I'm with my family a lot, but it does turn into more of like a casual side that I have, And sometimes when a task comes up at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., where I'm going to be sleeping in a few hours, I don't even attempt to do it because I don't want to activate that mode again. I just want to stay in the casual mode. Does that make sense? It's because if I view this problem as like, I have to get this done, this is business oriented, I have to do it, I sort of go into that mode, and it's just my body's like, dude, don't do that, just chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
I get that.
I get that too, and it's usually determined by my environment. So that's I have if you guys check my YouTube channel, which I haven't shared, one of the first videos that I made recently was I think the first thing that you have to do, if you like one of the healthiest things is just change your environment. I personally moved out, bro, like not too long ago, but I certainly did move out. I'm not living with my parents anymore, and that helped. Well, I haven't been living with my parents for 2 years, dude. That's extremely helpful because I know that I have 100% responsibility, even to pay the rent. If I don't keep scaling my business, if I don't keep on making sales with my business, and then on the side also make progress at work and all sorts of things, I know for a fact that I'm like, I have to be fucking serious, dude. Like I have to be serious. I can't get casual, dude, because my fucking, my girlfriend, like is also living here with me, and you know, I have things that I have to do. I have responsibilities I have to keep, and I have my own. My mission. I'm so fucking serious about my mission, dude. I'm sorry that I'm cussing. I'm trying to prevent that.
Oh, good.
You're good, bro.
You know, like I'm so serious. You just always have to be serious, dude, because I think that sometimes that your environment can make you feel like you're like will make you complacent, but like that complacency is probably what breeds that casual sort of feeling, dude. Like at least when you move out, you're like, fuck, I'm an adult now. I have to pay bills. I have to pay like all sorts of shit. I have to pay my own phone bill. I have to fucking do everything. And like the worst thing is us, me and Saba, if we're in a sales, and I guess Tristan as well, if we have to make money on our own accord, dude, we don't have, like, I don't have a stable job at all. I haven't had a stable job in such a long time now. Dude, I can't, like, I have to fucking hunt for my food, and it's exciting. It's rewarding. I feel like the manifestation in modern society of our ancestors, you know, the hunters and gatherers. But at the same time, like they were, I can guarantee you, they didn't just sit around. They were hunting all day until they got their food, man. And if you've ever,
Because they had to.
Yeah,
That's the thing. They had to. Yeah,
bro. You have to put yourself in that position, and you always have to. And then once you get, I think this is something that I want to make a video on too. It's somewhat amongst the lines of what John says: the depth of your struggle determines the height of your success. But like, if you put yourself in the hole, the same thing that's gonna get you out of the hole is what's gonna get you up and rising, like fucking like a rocket. So sometimes you have to purposely put yourself in the hole. So you're like, oh, I need to get out of here. That's what I did, dude. I put myself in the hole, bro. I sold all my JDM cars. I did everything. I was killing.
What car you get? My bad for cutting off. But what cars did you have?
I had two Honda Beats. And my friend had Skylines. He had an R34 that was coming. He had an AZ1, a bunch of K cars and that sort of thing. That's what I was doing back in the US. I was fucking killing it, dude. Yeah. And I just, like, one day my friend passed away. Rest in peace. It's part of the reason why, you know, we didn't do them. That guy was fucking awesome, dude. But yeah, you know. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to put myself in the hole because I take my mission so seriously that I know that if I want to get up here, I have to purposely make my life difficult. And like I said, I went back to the previous point. Hard is always the answer, dude. If you want to put yourself in a hard situation, because for example, I'm personally, I get to describe myself as lazy. Why? Because I always try to find the most efficient way to put in the least amount of energy to solve a problem. And so if my problems aren't hard, that lazy part is going to reflect itself as laziness. But if I put myself in a really, really hard situation that I have to get out of the trenches, where I have to get out of the trenches, now that part is like, dude, I can't be fucking lazy no more. Like that efficiency process will get me out and will get me skyrocketing. So as soon as I get out of the fucking hole, as soon as my rent's paid, dude, like as soon as I have money to reinvest in the business, fuck it, I'm out of here, dude. I'm making tons of fucking money, dude. Everything already formulated in my mind from when I was so fucking broke. After I sold, like, think about it, I was doing great in fucking Texas, dude. I had like a bunch of money in the bank. Then I came here 2 years, my money's just depleting. I'm like, dude, I'm in the fucking hole, bro. I got to figure this out or else I'm not going to get out of here. Like, this is going to be horrible. I'm going to go back to my parents in the US and be like, sorry, I didn't, like, nothing that I did worked. No, I take my shit seriously. And that's why I did that. And so I, like, that lazy efficiency process has now become from like a bitch laziness to like, this is just pure, I have to fucking figure this out to make this work, man. It's like, it's no fucking joke. Put yourself in a hard ass situation, man.
Listen, a lot of people with a good amount of money in Mexico would do other things, but that's impressive. You man, stay on your goal, man. That's awesome.
No, but I gotta say, bro, I'm not making money yet. Like I'm actually broke as fuck right now. I can't lie. I'm being completely honest. I had my savings. Right now, I'm just getting out of the hole. Like, let's say because I bought real estate, right? So I'm financing real estate properties. I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my phone bill. I have to pay so many things. I'm like spending money on ads, just trying to reinvest. But right now I'm at the point where like the buffer that I put for myself of savings has already depleted itself because I fucking took it seriously. Like I really did, man. Like I put in my description in the bio, I'm a competitive fucking person, bro. Like people, I think people don't know. They're like I'm always competing with like everyone, and sometimes. Like obviously it's in a very healthy manner. I want the best for all of us, but at the same time, like I personally take my mission so seriously, dude, that it's like I will do anything to like try to, you know, take my like I don't want to let down myself with my goals. They're serious, and I put myself in hard situations on purpose. And yeah, so that's if that's what it takes, if it takes me to make my life super hard, and it takes me to be in a situation where right now I'm finally like starting to break even, starting to make profit, then
Mhm.
yeah, that's what it takes. But it took me like I started like this, I went down, and then slowly this is like I'm right here
Yeah.
now. I'm starting to go back up. I joined this community. Think about this. I'm broke as fuck. I barely have money to pay my bills. I even told John, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to join in my next billing cycle because I literally don't want to hit my credit card limit and all these things. And I joined this. I'm spending $100 a month here. But I'm like, dude, I think I'm gonna make it back because I'm trying to use everything. I'm trying to use all the resources at my disposal, the opportunities that I'm like observing in my life to try to see how this can elevate me. And I obviously saw whenever I came across John's channel, I'm like, dude, this guy has potential. This guy is
Literally.
fucking serious. And then I found out about this community. I saw the calls and I was like, dude, you guys are also fucking serious. We are all on the same frequency here. Fuck, this is what I need right here. I don't even care if like I'm this is an investment to me. So I can get out of the hole, so I can have like-minded people, so I can inspire other people. And right now, yeah, I'm just barely starting to make that money, but no, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not making huge, like I have the potential now to make huge amounts of money because I'm signing clients now with my own business, and I also like have like the work, and I also have like another business possibly that I'm working on. They're all related. They're all gonna merge into one, but like
Okay.
at the end of the day, it's just, dude, like fucking balls to the wall, man. Like no joke here. This is serious shit, dude. And so, yeah.
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, I don't think I personally have to like sort of move somewhere else out because my family's already investing in real estate, like where we're from, and like they do need help for me as well to pay for it. Because like once these babies are done, like we're talking, a couple of lemons. It's good. It's good amount of fucking money. So there is already the incentive. There is already a ton of pressure to make money. And then like I have this whole room to myself, computer, everything. I can just close the door, be here for 12 hours a day. They don't bother me, nothing like that. It's just me showing my weakness and then going into that comfort mode. Family really isn't an issue at all. Plus, like we go everywhere together, like gym, sauna, shop. It's just good. I do think a lot of people in America, the reason why they struggle is because they just move out from such a young age. You obviously moved out for a heroic journey. Not you talking about you. I'm talking about people that go to college and they live on campus and then they move out, and it's just like I really think it's terrible thing to do. You need to be one unit, and then for me the goal is to have like a massive villa in Georgia where we're from, and then just to live there with all my family, my parents, distant relatives, whatever. We're talking like a Narcos fucking Colombian style manor villa, right?
Why don't you do it out here in Mexico though, man? It's the best place.
I definitely want to visit there, not gonna lie. Listen, media hasn't done a very good job.
I talked about the someone said that in person, dude, you guys come here. First of all, Merida is much safe. Merida, the city that I'm in, is safer than any place in the U.S.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Because I have friends that visit
Mexico over to Cancun.
Yeah,
bro, you're gonna be like it's dangerous. It's dangerous as fuck there. But at least where I am here, I would love for all of us to have like an in-person meet here.
Definitely.
My aunt has a beachfront, dude. I think I told Dante about this. Dante, you're coming to visit me in July, I think, right?
Am I?
At least your parents mentioned something about that. I was like,
shit, I didn't know that.
Dude,
yeah, that's definitely in the works, man. Because I'm also a part of like I paid like a one-time fee for a couple of other groups like this. They're more business oriented. They're more like e-commerce disoriented. I met a lot of good people, like genuinely good people that are on the grind, that are younger than us, making way more money than us. And I've visited the couple of countries with them. I was in Spain with them, and I was actually in Georgia with them. We had like a big ass house. There was 7 of us guys. We were there for like 4 weeks, and then afterwards we went to like the mastermind event of our group in Spain. And dude, just traveling solo for the first time it wasn't the first time. I traveled in Florida a couple of times, but like traveling outside the country solo, it was such a great experience, surreal experience. Like it was incredible, man. It was awesome. I learned a lot of things, and going to Mexico with you guys, like at your place, like 100% in the works. I just have to figure out when, because for summer I'm going back to Georgia for 2 months with my dad and my brother. We're gonna set up the rental properties, like we're gonna get that sorted out, fixed up, and then hopefully start fucking generating some money. But I'm gonna be there for 2 months, and then like that's the goal. That's the idea, is to just have a nice manor, nice place with all my family. Because without family, it's just like, bro, no way, man, no way. It's just because my family is also very interesting, very high and low. They're not like the middle, like the middle sort of like low energy. They're like very high, very low. They're just very similar to, like, where do you think I was bred, bro? Where do you think these conditions came from? You know what I'm talking about? They're one of my own. So yeah, I don't think like I said, yeah, go ahead.
No, just like, it's just essentially you have that seriousness because you found that your reason is to help your family, which is something that every man should do. Even me, like, I didn't move out with my parents to be selfish. Most people move out to college. Oh, I'm gonna go indulge in life and drink and do shit, fucking college girls and all that shit. No, like, I moved out because I literally told mom, dad, whenever I get out of the hole, I swear to you, I will get your dream car. I will help you pay for this. I want to pay off your mortgage. I'm gonna come back. You guys didn't believe so much in me, but I don't care. I don't mind that you guys didn't believe in me. I'm going to come back and I'm going to help you guys out, regardless if you didn't think that what I was going to do was going to work or not. I'm going to help. And then at the end of the day, it's that big reason that's the driving motivator. As to where most people are like selfish. Most people will, like, you know, just have that very self-centered desire. I think you've already, your family is the main motivation. And if you're in a situation right here where, you know, you might be at your house or whatever, but you know, you're with your family, you're trying to help them, you're working. No, that's perfect, man. You've already ruled out that. So it can't be. It's probably not the exact same reason that worked for me that's going to work for you. You're already in that situation.
Definitely. No, I know for a fact it's not that. Like, some people like have to move out. Like, I don't blame them. I understand. Me, I'm not in that. Yeah. For you, honestly, from what I hear, yeah, that honestly might be the move for you. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. And then you just you have to move out to develop yourself, to achieve the results that reflect your mindset. And then you can go back. Because right now you can't get out of the hole if there's, you know, if there's like 7 inches of water, like, you know, 3 feet of water, it's harder to get out, or if there's things pulling you down. And I'm not saying this out of like they're doing it on purpose. They just don't know any better. Usually that's what it is. Like, they try to teach you what they were taught. And then they usually were not taught anything that was great, right? Because if they were, they would be in a much better place. Always how it is. So you can't fault them.
Yeah.
And when you want to have the results that are much higher and much, but when you want to have the responsibility over the results that you want to achieve, that I want to achieve, you are going to have to like overcome, and you just overlook things like, oh, why is this happening to me? This shouldn't be the way this should happen. Why is it like you have to just do way more than those around you for them to finally accept your accept what you're teaching? What does Miss Watson always say? Your weakness is their way out. So if you're preaching this, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to quit uni, I'm going to quit this. If you show weakness, and if you don't work 100%, if you don't get the results that you want, your weakness is their way out. Meaning they can be like, you know, see, I told you this wouldn't work. I told you. That's their way out. And that's just how they've been conditioned. It's not their fault. That genuinely is how their conditioning is. They are so hell-bent on like, no, this is the right way. This is the right way. You're wrong. You're wrong. Where if they actually start to see that you are wrong via, you know, you go off track, you don't do the work, you don't get the results, they're like, see, I told you. That's their way out. So you can't give them any ways out. Yeah, you can't give a way out. And you don't have to necessarily get the results, but as long as, like, I don't think anyone can fault you if you're working balls to the walls absolutely 100%, and then they're like, see, look, this isn't working, but you can be like, dude, I'm working this hard, there's no you know what I mean?
I think the call Saturday, Casey was talking about a situation. How like he was telling his mom, was like, hey, the food that we're having here in the house is good. And so as a result, I think John mentioned this, you know, when someone stops telling, also like, this is a lot of this criticism also, weakness, but it also comes from a place of love, because to some extent, at least from the family, because at the end of the day, like my father, I'm sure, wants to live out to some extent, or wants me to live like the life that he would have liked to live, but for my own good, you know, because he's thinking that he doesn't understand the way that I do things. Like, man, I have never explained to my parents the intricacies of the business and how much things I've thought. If they sat down and understood it, if I could explain to them for 3 or 4 days, like, I've done months and months of research, and I'm like, Dad, I'm your son, you know, I'm also kind of smart. Like, I got this figured out, but they haven't taken the time to listen to me. But the thing is that they're just worried. The day that you have your parents just not ask up on you and not check, then that's when you're like, oh man, maybe these people don't care about me. But yeah, it comes from a good place, and I totally understand that. I hold absolutely nothing against my parents for not really understanding what I do. But yeah, the same way I actually moved out because I didn't want to tell them about my plans. I don't want to tell them exactly what I'm doing. I just kind of want to be like, hey, I'm just understand I'm going to go out for a while and I'm doing this. Sometimes I'll call with them and give them some details, but it's just like at the end of the day, like a good parent has to understand that his child isn't just like his child. He's also an independent, you know. So
yeah, the parents
yeah,
are supposed to be a mentor in a way. They're not supposed to like make you them, but they're supposed to help guide you through it. But the reason I want to move out is because I just feel like I got it a little too easy in a way, like to rely or like bounce back. I just want to, like, if I was out and I had to fend for myself, I feel like I'd be, even though I'm going as hard as I am, I feel like it would be crazy as hard as like I could be going. And I'm trying to like trick my mind in a way, or like just like not try to rely on them or like bounce back or be comfortable, which is what I'm figuring out at the moment. But
you don't want a safety net. That's what you just don't want to have a safety net. Yeah.
Listen, that's where aggression is going to come from, by the way, man. Dude, you're gonna have to get serious, bro. Like that's another thing too. I think you can become aggressive based on the situations that you put yourself in. If you do hard things, bro, you're gonna become a hard person, bro. Yeah. You know, something I want to clarify something here real quick, because I know that I don't know how you guys are doing. Like I would love to continue this conversation. I think I will, but I had some things I actually want to get into on this call more specifically. I think on Saturday, for example, I think Mark told me to give Mark told me to give a closing message. I gave like a proposition to have this call. I hope, by the way, that we can repeat these on like have a sometimes we'll see new faces or other people who can hop on, and just like a more member run call so we can recall what John has taught us in the classrooms and that sort of thing. But also just something that I did that I should have closed with, and something that I had in mind to say that day. It's something that is definitely relative to what we're saying here about just becoming aggressive, just becoming, you know, hard people. Obviously, we know that tough times create strong men, right? And it's so crazy because we think about here, we're in this community here, we're a bunch of people who are much younger. Like we're obviously much younger than most people who are in positions in corporate positions. We're seeing men in power who are way older than us, and we can't, like, to some extent at our age, we can't see the connection between, look, there's that CEO, and then here I am, like I'm just a youngster, right? So like but we don't realize that someday we will be those people who are ahead in those positions. But the thing is, like, for us to get to that point, like we're going to be the people in society. Like it's crazy because I think we're not visualizing right now. I think there's such a large distinction between men and like our generation for some reason, to some extent. And I think some of us aren't making that connection that, dude, in a few years, we'll be the ones who are running society. Like we will, if we're a bunch of weak men, dude, times are going to get really, really hard, bro. Because we have a bunch of weak men. That's why that's why we can't even create that distinction or that connection between, like, we can't even associate ourselves to men in power, because I think society has become so easy that we're having people just living their homes, being like so comfortable, you know, not like, so the lack of aggression is so there because of the amount of comfort that we have today, because of how easy. And dude, that's gonna mean that a lot of us are gonna have to be hard. I think the opportunity comes from a lack of responsibility. And dude, we have a huge opportunity here if we're men who follow through, if we're disciplined, and if we do the right things. If we become men who if we make our lives tough, we will become really strong men, and we are going to hold the opportunity. We're going to hold the power in these decades to come, because a lot of them, and we have a tremendous opportunity here because a lot of people are very weak, dude. And guess what? We're going to have a ton of opportunity because there's such a lack of responsibility because people are so complacent. In a few years, I can guarantee that if we start right now, like we're doing, we understand. Like, we have to put ourselves and visualize the responsibility that lies ahead in our lives because of the tasks that we're pursuing. Dude, we're going to have a ton of responsibility. A ton, man.
It's not how it's out.
It's intimidating. It's almost intimidating, man. But like, we have to visualize ourselves. So we have to make our life hard, dude, to be prepared for what's ahead. Because trust me, life is going to be hard. So we have to make our lives hard before shit gets really hard in society, because I can already tell the next few years in society are going to be really tough. It's going to be a lot of fucked up shit. that's already started to happen. That's already going to continue to happen. Dude, it's going to be in our hands to try to shape the future. And very, very few of us in this generation are understanding that. Like we're not us are making that or making that connection here. It's remarkably scary to some extent, but it's so rewarding if we're the ones who can understand that beforehand. And that's something that I wanted to open last time. It's something just I wanted to connect here with. Yeah, make your lives tough, man. Make your lives tough, because the times that are ahead, created by the weak men, are very fucking tough, dude. We have to fucking make ourselves hard. We have to become hard people, hardened by our own will, by our own putting ourselves in very tough situation, being aggressive, taking risks, so that we can be prepared for what's ahead of us, man.
Yeah, when you put yourself in circumstances that are hard and you prepare for them, then when the unexpected circumstances that are hard come, you're way more prepared. So I agree.
Exactly.
Definitely. It's kind of both. I completely agree with that, but it's just sometimes when I do think about that in the future, like sometimes I just get I don't know, demotivated might be the right word, just kind of like a hopelessness, sort of like an underlying theme of hopeless.
Yeah, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. Because to me, I don't think it's as well. I know I'm completely wrong, and because of how the media and how everything is presented, but for me, I have more of a sense of like it's just gonna be like 6 or 7 or 10 fucking trillion-dollar tech companies that sort of just control everything. I don't truly believe that, but it's just every single day a new law is forwarded. Every single day. It's just every day, every week, every month. Like Sorry?
Who runs those tech companies? And by the time you're their age, of the people who are running the tech companies, those people aren't going to be working those tech companies. So we have to keep in mind, we are the people who can possibly be running the world. There's no corrupt notion to this, but at the end of the day, I think you can connect your motivation here, your underlying motivation, which is to provide for your family, with the lack of responsibility from our generation. Of course, there's a lot of demotivation because of the things that can happen. There's a lot of people who don't want to take action nowadays because they are so complacent. But you can see it this way as well. It's like, if I am a person who takes action, and I'm going to be a rare person who's able and has the preparation to be able to conquer the opportunities and the lack of responsibility, to be able to fulfill that reward for, like, to be able to fulfill that purpose of helping my family, essentially. It's going to be accentuated by this opportunity. So
yeah, it's good. No, I'm not like it by no means saying like, oh, don't try because it's not a good. There definitely is a beautiful future ahead, but I also kind of see it as like, it could be fucking all out nuclear warfare for all I know, right? It's a slippery slope, in my opinion. The future holds.
It's scary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But obviously I don't let it affect me. But sometimes when I like really get into it deep, think about it like maybe once a week or something, I'm like, damn, everything could just fucking change to the worst ever situation in a snap of a finger.
That's the thing, exactly. So this is the last moments to get money. Like if what you're saying is right, if that feature is right, these are the
there you
last
go.
moments.
Yeah, that's good too. That's good. Yeah.
Such a good point, Dante. Dude, that's another thing that motivates me. Is I see the future and I'm like, dude, bro, the gate is closing, man. The gate is closing, bro. And a lot of I see these people around me, just like you said in your school. You saw the college. Saba, I would feel bad for them, Saba. I'd be like, oh my God, these guys are not going to make it. Dude, I might not make it. Bro, and we have to call. Maybe we're the people who we need to be, but man, we have to manifest the things that we need to, that our character needs to manifest, the external environment, the money, everything. We have to have the resources, man. It's like that's an extremely motivating factor here, dude. I feel a little bit more hopeful here in Mexico because I actually see a lot of potential opportunities for Mexico here in the future, especially compared to the US.
I'm dipping. Listen, I'm dipping at the US
as soon as I can, bro.
I'm out of here, bro. You got me fucked up. I'm out, man. I'm out. But yeah, that's another thing I want to say is, like, obviously there's a lot of social engineering. There's a lot of like opinions being engineered by the media, by social media. I also view it that way, that everything's presented in a way that's like, oh, the future is hopeless, this to get you demotivated. I also think of that instead of like believing in it, that should sort of, you can use it to also motivate you. Be like, hey, these people, these media, these social medias are making everything seem so bad in the future that they don't want you to even like try to reach out, try to better yourself, because it's just nihilism. They want you to be nihilistic. So if that's what they're trying to do, is maybe they're trying to fucking hide something from you. Maybe they don't want you in the future. So yeah, man, that's important. Yeah, for
coordination. It's a perfect coordination. They're taking away our aggression. They're taking away our religion. They're taking away all the fundamental things that motivate us. They're taking away the nuclear family. They're trying to destroy that. So that's our main motivation. That's the main motivation of a man. They're trying to take all that things away, and they're telling us the future is going to be shit. Dude, we're not going to want to take action. But thank God we have a few people who we see who resonate with us. When I saw John, for example, it's like, dude, this guy's fucking serious, and he's our age. One of the few people with aggression, one of the few people who understand. I see John also talk about, I see you obviously talk about your family. We all understand here what the motivation is. The motivation isn't to become like, and no offense to people who are, but to become gay and just live a life of pleasure for myself and, just go and indulge in my own sexual desires. No, that's not my fucking life. Like, that's not the motivation. I want my family to be good. I want my girlfriend to be good. I want everything in my nuclear family. I want my bloodline to prosper. And I have that with aggression. So whenever I see something that would be demotivating to people who don't have that underlying motivation, who don't have that aggression, well, they get demotivated. But I'm just like, dude, no, fuck no. I'm going to be the person who's going to go and change that. We all have to be the people who are going to go and change that. So that's why it's so exciting to have a community like this of people our age, because I have never. What is scary is the fact that I hadn't found a community like this of people our age ever. Until I finally found John, I was like, dude, John is speaking like I do. Like, John literally sounds like a part-time dialogue to some extent. Even you do, Sav. We have a lot of things in common. But then now I see a community of members. Dude, I want this community to fucking grow as well. I know this is John's community. Dude, I want John's community to grow because the type of conversations that we're going to have here is so fucking important, dude. It's like right now I'm fired up just thinking like, bro.
Yeah.
People don't make that realization. We are the future, guys. We are the future. We have to.
And another thing that just came to mind is like, how many times have like people or groups or organizations tried to control the whole world, right? They never succeed ever. It always gets crumbled, dismantled, and then the people that actually stayed strong and built up, families and manners and something out of themselves, they prosper for generations to come. Think of like the Roman Empire falling, right? Everyone was just like fucking doing orgies, just eating till they threw up. It was just gladiator fights, literally the same exact thing is happening today with football, with sports, with junk food, literally the same exact distractions. The men that decided to indulge in those, the women that decided to indulge in those distractions instead of like building something for themselves, even through a time of oppression, right? Where family wasn't really number one priority. They were fucking dudes. They were fucking each other in that time, They're just sexual deviancy will
the Rome
always lead.
Spartans were crazy.
Yeah, they were fucking stupid, man. But what I'm saying is like men that gave into that became weak. Where are they now? Where are their bloodlines now? Non-existent, right? But the people that built something of themselves, people that made something of themselves in their family, they're still kicking. They still have massive manors and mansions and villas in Italy. Their family generations been passed down. So, and what did the Roman Empire try to do? They try to fucking control the world, right? What did Genghis Khan try to do? Control the world. They never succeed. It's just not, the world isn't designed for that to work. One man or one group heading an army cannot control the whole.
They're doing a good job right now.
They're doing a great job.
They're taking a different approach as to where Hitler just straight up with aggression just went in there.
Yeah.
It's like, no, fuck no, we have aggression as well. But now they're taking away, they went through the back door, they went around us, they're taking that aggression, they're taking that motivation all away from us, and now we're just weak. So now they can attack and fucking kill us, dude.
Well, I genuinely think that like the Nazi regime and the communist regime are two complete extremes of trying to control. I think they were sort of purported, they were built because the countries and the people leading it were trying to test out which would work. Would it be complete communism? Would it be complete, like fascism, complete nationalism? And neither succeeded, right? They both failed. So right now, what's going on is they're incorporating elements of both. Have you noticed that? They're taking what worked from the Nazi regime, what worked for the communist regime, and they're implementing those devices and tools to sort of make everyone else weak. That it's just one thing I want to say is they listen, like you said, man, they're doing a fantastic job at fucking just they've demoralized people so much that they don't even, the door is open, you know, the door from the cage is open, but people just stay in it. They don't even want to quit. Like, how many people have you seen with the fucking Apple little Vision AR pods, right? They ain't trying to, they're not even trying to be in reality no more.
There was something very interesting during the war. I forgot, they used actually a strategy. You actually drop a whole bunch of like pictures of nude women.
Yeah.
To try to, like, I forgot where, but like that's an effective strategy. That's a warfare in itself, but it's a different type of warfare. And dude, I think spiritual warfare is a very real thing. But like just the type of warfare, we can get into that in another conversation. But dude, like there is, we are being attacked. We are being attacked, dude. And every day, I think we are going, like, something we have to be prepared for as well. The reason why we have to have aggression, dude, the few individuals like us are going to be attacked, bro. We don't face, like, have no doubt that if we keep on doing the shit that we're doing, if we keep on having these conversations, if this community grows, dude, we are going to be under attack in some future. Whenever men who don't retaliate and the few ones that do, we are going to get picked on first, dude. But like, we have to keep this in mind. I know it sounds kind of sounds like out there, but no, it's just the truth of the world. You're absolutely right. I think, there literally is a point, we can see it every day, for them to take over slowly but surely, and we have to be very, very clear about that, and just stay more so than anything, just stay true to our motivations and have that aggression to conquer through that shit. So.
Yeah, no, it's not out there, man. If only you could see into my fucking head, I'd be like, what is this guy talking about? Like, it's some childish. No, I'm joking, but obviously I completely agree and comprehend what you're saying is, but sometimes it's kind of hard to remember that it never works. You know, complete domination of the human spirit never works. There's always rebellion. There's always something that goes wrong, and then they lose control of it. Another thing is, what was I gonna say? Yeah, sometimes a saying I have is like, society is built so that like retards can breed and geniuses are cold, you know? So if you like speak up, like let's say Malcolm X, right? I think he was very aggressive in his approach, but what was he doing? He was genuinely resonating with people in America, oppressed people in America, African Americans, and he was inspiring. What happened to him? What happened to JFK, right? They call the people that are trying to do good for the people. Like, take a look at how many nationalist like presidents like Gaddafi and stuff like that were just killed straight up by the US because they were, sure, they did bad things, but they were inspiring their nation. They were strengthening their nation. And the US is like, nah, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And they just killed the guy. So it's built like when you have welfare, when you have food stamps, and I'm not saying to take those away, but when you have these safety nets for people, I know people that literally have kids, they don't have jobs, and they still survive. They're still out here fucking on welfare, on food stamps. Like, in a normal, just society, they would have to get off their ass and stop drinking. They would have to get off their ass and stop smoking and actually provide for themselves. Or if they didn't, they would die, right? Natural selection would take care of them. Now there is a safety net, so all the idiots at the bottom can thrive. And then everyone at the top is just demoralized, demotivated. They look around, they're like, what the actual fuck is going on? How are you here with me, right? It's just, it's a whole zoo. Imagine being thrown into a zoo with just like a bunch of monkeys, and then you're just, or like bunch of donkeys. Imagine you're thrown into a zoo enclosure with donkeys and you just kind of have to be there. You would be demoralized very quickly. You wouldn't be aspiring to get to the next level. But realizing that and sort of understanding that, I think it could help you guys out or give you motivation. Because for me, one of the worst things I struggle with is pride and looking other people as like lesser soul, like a lesser being than me. I obviously don't stay in this state for a very long time because it's bad for you. Genuinely, every single time I stay in that state for like more than an hour or two, it's just like the way I start to think, it's bad, it's nasty. You don't want to be in there. But like, objectively speaking, like, bro, you guys know the type of people I'm talking about. They're like 24, they're like 450 pounds, they have a little like breathing tube, and they're going in and fucking having like a double cheeseburger and chicken. Like, dude, like, what are you doing, right? So it's that is a huge, I would say it's number one thing I struggle with, because whenever I am that prideful, whenever I like publicly, like in the comment or Instagram or Twitter or something. This was before, not anymore. Now I used to like flame these people. It would always end up in me deteriorating myself and my standards and my systems. If I was to hate on someone else for like not being disciplined, not doing anything, as soon as I make like the slightest mistake, or as soon as I go a little underneath my standards, because I'm judging them so hard. In the Bible, it says, you know, you'll be judged the same way you judge other people. So the more you judge other people, the slightest mistake you make, you take it so much more. It's so much greater for you, and then you just go down in a downward spiral. Every single time I've stayed prideful for like weeks on end or months on end, it always ends up me going down, and it's the number one issue I would say I have, is because another thing with ADHD is just like when I'm sitting there, when I'm listening to these people, like there's nothing going on. You know, everything you say is just regurgitated from the news, from what you saw. You're talking about fucking Taylor Swift like you're 52, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you, right? So it is that's one of the reasons why these people, I suppose, are just so in a safety net. They're just like, get a job, you have a pension, you have 401k, like they're just above, like the water is here for them, right? Their nose is just above the water. They're not drowning, but they're also not living. They're just right above that, and seeing so many. Huh?
I'm listening. I'm taking the speaker.
Okay. Yeah, I genuinely think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What you were saying, Saba. So the people who are like 400 pounds, that's rock bottom, but they're okay with that? Like, I don't understand.
Because they're okay with that because what's being purported in society right now? Oh, be accepting, fat acceptance. Oh, we need to love everyone. If you like in class, like in a classroom or like on social media, you make someone be like, yo, you fat bastard, you're going to die in the next decade. What are you doing? People are going to be like, oh, you're so mean. You're an asshole. You're so rude. You shouldn't do that. It's like fat acceptance makes me want to kill myself. What are you talking about? We should accept someone slowly killing themselves with food. This is how malleable, brain dead people's minds are, that you can convince them. I guarantee you, this is my prediction, in like a decade or two, I swear to you, pedophilia is going to be treated the same way as people that are fat. You can already see it happening. It's going to be treated the same way as like fat phobia. When you make someone that's a fucking kid diddler, you're gonna be seen as like I don't know what the fucking word is gonna be, but
Like
I'm telling you, everything that you everything bad that you call out and judge, say, improve upon, like it's slowly becoming the norm and the social standard to say, no, that's not okay. You need to accept this. You need to accept that. That's why those fat people feel okay. That's why they don't feel, because if all they saw was people in the media and the news just making fun of them, saying, yo, if you're fat, you're gonna die. Imagine how many less fat people we're gonna have if on social media news it just showed statistics of how much more likely you are to going to die. If it showed like compelling videos and articles about like, hey, if you're fat, this is what your organs look like. This is how disadvantaged you are. It's
like
just,
it's so demonic what's happening, because if you think about it, like, dude, people are mutilating themselves. Themselves, bro. They're making them look crazy, bro. If you want to talk about spiritual warfare, there's no doubt. There's zero doubt. And you know what's crazy? Yesterday, I started to watch some of John's lessons in the classroom. Whatever, he suggested a book. I think it was Outwitting the Devil. I started listening to that yesterday. Oh my God,
it was a good.
It's such an interesting book, because that was written like
100 years ago. Almost. No, it was released. I think it was released. No, you're right. About like 80, 90 years ago. Never mind. Go ahead.
80 years ago, I think it was written like during World War II, because I think he made some references to those sort of things. So I'm assuming like World War II era. It was written that long ago. But the crazy thing to think about is that some of the things that they were saying in the book are so true, man. Like, think about like people who are adrift, people who just in society will start listening, like just things that like this fat phobia. People are just listening to facts, putting things in their bodies that they're not supposed to. They're just drifting, essentially, is what he likes to call it. And that's something that we're so affected by. I have no doubt, if we're already self-mutilating, you're absolutely right. Your predictions about the future are probably going to come sooner than you expect to with at this pace. If people don't step in like us and be like, hey, no, we have to hold this line for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, we have to start with ourselves, right? We obviously have to build our characters up, and then we're going to build society.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Extremely important.
Yeah,
So-
it's because with like an absence of like a righteousness or like a God figure or a religion, that gap will always be filled with something else, right? Usually if it's not God, or it could be, if it's not like some sort of like, you don't even have like, obviously you should believe in God, in religion, but even if you have like some sort of like karmic system that you believe in, like all these spiritual people that believe in like karma, right? We call it God, but they believe in karma. If you believe in that, then you know good and bad, what to do, what not to do. But when people that are complete atheists, they're like, oh, do what you want. Nothing is good. Nothing is wrong. Just do as you please.
Yeah.
They will uphold societal standards and laws made in the society as their karma, as their God. So if the law says you can do this, you can do that, you won't get in trouble. We actually accept it. We encourage it. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's fun. Mutilate yourself. It's fun. They will believe in it. Right? That's how malleable they are.
I had a friend who said the devil and evil, hell, is actually the lack of God, because that's where the devil can come into play. It's not just some force, but hell is created when there's a lack of God. That's when the devil comes in, and that's what happens. Is like someone asked me, it was like, where do you think the devil is going to come from if it emerged in some part of the world? And one of my friends said Islam. I was like, no, dude, not at all. It's an Abrahamic religion. The devil's going to emerge from those atheist countries, from those communist countries where people are just nihilistic, and they start making their own morals, and they start determining what human, because the good intentions, I think Dante always says this, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. If we have the best intentions, but we don't have anything to orient it against, if we don't have anything to align it with, we don't have a higher moral purpose to keep us accountable to, a source of judgment that's, I think, literally comes from the divine, then we are going to create our own judgments, and they're going to be so flawed after generations that we're just going to start doing some immoral shit. We're going to be like, oh yeah, it's fine to do this. Babies are going to be. Have you guys read Brave New World? Scary shit, dude. I mean,
that's a good book. It's like they, when kids are born, they like do things to them to like just make them dumb, and then a tier above that and a tier, but they're gonna have like, they have like alpha, gamma, and some other, like they literally, when you're born, they like deprive some people of oxygen to their brain, so they just kind of become like dumb, so they're happy.
No way.
Yeah, so they're happy with like being plumbers and like lower class people. Then they have the kids that they just kind of feed everything correctly, feed them right, and they're normal, but they're so much better than those that are below them. It's just like a class tier system. And when kids are born, they're just born into a class. You're either a plumber and a worker, and your brain is just kept at that level. Like you don't aspire to do anything else. You're just a robot, or you just have free will and you just do whatever you want. Fuck whatever you want. Do as you please. Yeah, it's a crazy book. It's Brave New World, Austin.
Brave New World, yeah.
It's fiction, obviously, but I mean, it might
It
might not be fiction.
Non-fiction, bro. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
No, it's fiction, but I mean, it's not going to be fiction for much longer, bro. I'm telling you.
You never know.
That's the reason why you guys are like, was that fiction? No, because it sounds like it could happen. It's
that's crazy. Yeah,
in that direction. Like it's so crazy that 1984 books that were written so long ago. We're like, oh, dude, we're getting closer. We are getting closer every single day.
Yeah.
So,
but that's another thing. Like, I like to entertain these ideas, but like we said, going back to it, like you also must have hope. You must have understanding that you will do fine in the future. And if you don't, and you believe that there's no point to doing this, so fuck this, fuck that, it can really just sap you of any sort of motivation you have, or any sort of future you have to look forward to, you know? Any questions, brothers? I got like 10-15 minutes here, which is fine, but like I gotta do my cardio. I got some other stuff. Any closing questions? This is a good ass call, dude. I took some good stuff away from this. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I wanted to iterate on your point a little bit. Did I lose my train of thought here? I think I did. Oh yeah, no, well, everything that we're saying here is absolutely true. I mean, this is the direction the society is. But the number one approach that we can take here is just starting with ourselves. This is absolutely why you know, and honestly, I see a lot of potential for this community that John has here. A lot of people are very focused on fitness. Great. I'm really excited about that. Like, that's great. You guys are, you know, posting your fitness pictures and whatever. But like, we have to start having more like, if you guys see my posts, I'm like, I'm in shape and stuff like that. I go to the gym. I'm not going to the gym so much, but like, I don't even post stuff because I think that there's things that are a little bit more important for us to actualize ourselves. I want to give like a different perspective on some things that aren't talked about very much in the group. Obviously, John is perfectly in his right mind to give fitness advice, bro. He's so fucking jacked as hell. Like at his age, man, he's probably one of the most qualified people to give us sort of fitness advice. What I would like to do is for the people, everyone who has their own sort of unique angle. That's why I asked at the beginning today in today's post, what unique tip do you guys have? Like, what unique thing can you provide to the group? Because I want all of us, I think John, this is going to help John a ton too. This is how we're going to grow the community, is like, we just have to start providing value from all sorts of different angles, not just fitness, man. We have people who are qualified in fitness here, but maybe like, let's say in like a few months, like I'm fucking killing it with my businesses and stuff and sales. Maybe I can start giving you guys about the real estate market here in Mexico. And, you know, maybe I'll let you know, because I'm already seeing it. Like, you can get rich quick here. Like there's an opportunity to get rich quick here in real estate. Like it's much more profitable in the US. I can start giving sorts of advice. We can all start chiming in with different understandings. Dante knows a ton about coding and AI, dude, like all sorts of things that we can just start chiming in to grow this community. And it's going to be insane the amount of value that we're going to have to be able to offer, so that we can build ourselves up, so that we can be prepared for it. We first must start with ourselves. Obviously, I'm glad it's about fitness. I'm glad everyone's talking about fitness, because that is the first and most important.
Fitness, first. That's what I was going to say. It's the first.
Fitness and mindset.
We'll start incorporating money, practical advice, all sorts of mindset. Obviously, mindset's already in there as well. We all have a conversation about mindset, but I would love for all of us to give all our unique angles. And for other people who are very, like, I would love for people who are coming into the group with a lot of experience too, man, who can give really good advice. Like I might get my mentor to join. My mentor is the guy with the Lamborghinis that I mentioned at the beginning. I might get him to join what he like. You know, maybe I'm like, hey, Luis, maybe you can join here. I'd love for you to give the advice. Let's see what you're like, because he really believes in me, and that I believe, at least. And I would love to see he can give us some crazy amount of value, man, in the financial industry, and things that you know, obviously has more experience than us. He's like, I think he owns like a huge. I'm not even getting into it, but I would love for all of us, for this community, to just become like that sort of place where we can all just become fucking sharp as hell tools, man, just ready to conquer the world, and build ourselves up so we can be the members in society which are going to succeed and take advantage, take the responsibility to capitalize on the opportunity that's ahead of us. So,
well said, man. Well said. That's the goal. I mean, that's the vision. That's the idea. I pretty much, this is like my social media. Like I said, this is my, like, you know,
it is too, bro.
I don't have any social media. I don't use Instagram. I don't have Twitter, no Snapchat, no TikTok.
I've replaced social media with the school platform. I just hop on there. Like, it's like, okay, what can I post?
The beautiful thing for me is when you post, it's such a mix. Like, there's half of the post, it's like people asking for advice, people saying, what should I do? What should I do? And the other half are people inspiring you, motivate. It's fucking crazy. It's such a good dynamic, because even like you, Michael, even like me, even like John, people that sort of, Tristan as well, hard ass motherfucker, like people that understand sort of how to maneuver your animal, right? How to maneuver your person, how to make him do things. We still sometimes ask questions and ask advice because we know the value other people have. That different perspective people have on the same issue as you're having, it's just so valuable. And it's good that we notice it, we appreciate it, we humble ourselves, we say, hey, what should I do for this? What should I do for that? Whereas we could have easily gone on and done our way. We just want to figure out different ways. And there are younger guys that come in, they're just asking like, hey, what's the best exercise for this? What do you have for tips? Which is beautiful. It's you get to help others, and you get to also get to extract information from those that know something that you don't, which is awesome, man.
Yeah, that's what I love about it, dude. Like John says, dude, waking up and seeing you guys all posted, I'm like, dude, these guys are taking action. Do you know how sick and tired of what I was? This is such a relief. I was sick and tired of even some of my friends were like, oh yeah, Michael, I love what you're saying, man. I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, Michael, look at me.
No, literally, bro. Literally.
Taking action. What the fuck are you doing, dude? I'm busy as fuck, dude. I can't even I swear, people try to text me. I have to call them later, like, hey man. And I still have a really good standard of communication. Still, I still respond to people, but sometimes I'm so busy, like I don't have time to waste. But people are like still talking. They're talking like they don't even have time to talk anymore, dude. You're not even taking action. You're not waking up early. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
And most of the time when they're talking or like
that.
talking to us, it's like some bullshit that literally has like, it's
or they're
just
just
like,
or
what
they're
the
just
fuck are we
repeating or
talking-
they're just repeating
Yeah.
everything you say. Like, yeah, you're so right,
Yeah.
you're correct. Yeah. Like, bro, I don't want a yes man. I want you to challenge me. I
Yeah,
want you to
that's
give
it.
me your opinion on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's
100%.
awesome.
I
And
don't have
dude,
to
if you
define the
see,
character.
yeah, definitely. If you see, like, I'll give you guys an example. Like my boy Patrick, he was like, or no, Patrick or whatever. He was like, and we talked to him. Like, I've actually like helped him sort some of his like personal stuff out in the messages. Like, I've done this for a few other guys as well. We were talking. I posted like my food, and he was just like, "Yo, I don't know about that one, Saba. I think you should
Oh,
like
that was
separate the ingredients." I wanted to just like kind of slam him, be like, "Yo, listen, my stomach doesn't give a fuck if it's
it's all
separated."
going in the same
But,
spot.
Yeah, but I said it to him like in a little nicer way because obviously I like the kid, like he's a good friend of mine. But something like that, like, right, you wouldn't agree, you don't want to agree with people when someone even comments on your stuff and you don't necessarily agree with it. To demonstrate your character, right? Be like, nah, bro, that's not my mindset. This is how I view it. I said, dude, it's turning into paste anyway. Who gives a shit? That's how I sort of said it, and
What is your character? Yeah.
Exactly. I noticed I define my character. My character shows itself more as I'm in this group, as I'm adopting aggressive traits. And the number one thing that helps with this, I'm telling you, is staying off of pornography, staying off of girls, staying off. Like, if you're in a relationship, that's different. I'm talking about meaningless, just like hookups or like seeing someone for a
getting
week.
rid of the Snapchat. Bro.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
The Snapchat is a hellhole. Fuck that place. Staying off of it, dude. I'm telling you, sometimes when I come out of the gym after cardio and I just see like, you know, all these hoes just doing the treadmill, dude, I'm like an animal. I'm ready to kill someone. That aggression, it dissipates throughout the day, of course, especially when you start to do work. That anger, that just energy, raw animalistic energy dissipates. But the number one key I want to tell to people is just stay off of fucking beating your willy, bro. It is
Literally.
so.
That's your energy. That's your godly energy.
Right. So essentially, why do these habits, why do these things, like, because at the end of the day, our mind has to be in control of our body. Our body has tendencies, our body has desires, we have instincts, we have all these sorts of raw energies. We have to be in control of everything because that's when we're in control. What defines a character, right? The same character that can go and has his own beliefs, that has his own standards, that isn't just a yes man, that can go and see. I'm going to start taking that into account, by the way, Saba, because you're right. I'm not going to lie. I see posts every day in the group that I just completely disagree with. I'm going to start speaking my mind. Hopefully you guys don't. But no, like, there's so many things like that we can point out whenever we've defined our character, but we can't define our character if we can't even control ourselves.
It was on a call. On a call, I think it was Casey or it was someone else. Might have been, yeah, I think it was Casey. He was like, oh no, it was someone else. Fuck it. But he was saying like, oh, I've been trying to like I've been trying to do this more often. And then John was just like, listen, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. What is there to try? You just either do it or you don't. He kind of called him out for it. Right. That's sort of I would just want it to be like a wolf pack, you know, I just want it to be like a pack.
We can't be afraid of the conflicts because
definitely. And no one here will ever like take that comment in a negative way. They'll be like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I fucked up. Everyone here is smart enough to do that. That's why we're in this group. You wouldn't be in this group if you weren't smart enough to humble yourself and accept the help, accept the knowledge from other people. If you see something you don't agree with, just call it out. Obviously, say it in a nice or a funny way, respectful way. Don't be out here starting war, Michael.
I don't even want to start war, but I actually plan to make a YouTube video somewhat not disagreeing blatantly, but there's some things that even John, I disagree with him, like, surprisingly enough. Now, of course, he's the founder of this community, so I don't want to be too, because obviously at the end of the day, John knows what he's doing in his field, dude. Like, I can't argue against someone who has immense results. Obviously, that would be illogical of me. But there's some things, at least some members of this community, and some things that I see John is doing that I'm like, maybe you could take this approach. And
I mean, that's what he wants at the end.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
So we all
start
learn
making
and
YouTube videos.
change our
As soon as I start making my
perspectives.
YouTube videos, there's gonna be a few things that are gonna differ between me and him, and probably in the opinion. But I already have some videos, by the way, if you guys want to check them out. Just they're not much, but
Link it.
I'll throw the YouTube out there. Yeah, I'll link it in the post.
Definitely.
But
And honestly, I want to start doing that too. I want to start doing
we should.
videos too, because that helps.
What's
If I learned the skill of just like making videos and not, because dude, sometimes when I used to make videos before for like my clients and stuff, for the people I was outreaching with, dude, it took me like 70 fucking tries to do one, and there was nothing wrong with the first few tries. It's just I nitpicked so many little things.
Perfect action.
But doing it in this group, like posting it in this group, like obviously there's no like fear of judgment, and there's no like, you know, there's no pressure. So
that's how we
yourself.
expand your eyes on this sort of thing.
Yeah.
By the way, like if I'm making videos, you're making videos, dude. Everyone's like, "Where's this all part of?" It's like, "Oh man, this is an amazing group, dude." I see so much potential for this community John created. John doesn't even know. Like, I wish he could have hopped on a call, man, so we could talk to him about this.
Yeah, no. Trust me. If you have this much belief and believe in the potential of this group, imagine what how much potential he had. He's the one that has everyone under him, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes
I know for a fact we can. I'll provide, like, maybe he can raise. I think she should raise the memberships with the amount of value that we're going to be giving this group.
Oh yeah,
I think he's doing that after 100.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It should be after 100. It should be. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, this was a fucking great call. If you guys have anything else to say before we head out, that would be good. We're doing this weekly, baby. No,
yeah,
yes, sir.
Wanted to say Dante is not a part of this group. Dante, I think Dante, you mentioned you were going to join sometime soon. I'll be excited for you to join the group, bro, so you can see what we're doing in there. And by the way, we have a limit of 100 members. Like, those 100 members are going to be the OGs, as John said. So I'm actually really excited about that, because those OGs, maybe we'll get up to, like, what if we do like an OG meet only, because we've already known each other for so long and that sort of thing. And like, I think we'll get like discounted on memberships eventually, is what he mentioned, possibly.
Yeah.
But like, it was going to grow over to 1,000 people. I think John's is like 500 by the end of the year. No, dude.
He's going to be way more, I feel like.
Way more.
I think we can get to 10,000, like, legit.
And he's not like aggressively pushing it like the same way other people would to make money. He's just building it up. Like, so, like, I can tell when someone is just like, join this, like, bro, he's not doing all of that. He ain't doing all of that. He's trying to get the people that would be valuable to the group in here.
Absolutely. I think our contribution is what's going to help the growth. What's going to help the growth.
Oh yeah.
We can offer a ton of value in one specific area, but maybe other people can start joining, and dude, the amount of collective value that's going to be exclusive to the group is going to be insane. Dude, I can't tell you enough how much, like, the biggest frustration that I've had in my life is not necessarily because I was lonely, but because it was like, dude, why can't I relate to anyone? I can't relate to anyone. I remember, just like you, Saba, when you said in college, like, everyone's robots. I literally remember one day when I was at work, and I just had like I don't know what happened to me. I just had like an immense frustration, like a rant. I just started going up to everyone, looking them in the eye, like, literally. Like, crazy media. I had on this, like, are you alive? And I said, and one of the guys started laughing. He's like, and he's like, wait.
I had, like, if you go up to someone and just shake them up, be like, yo, and then walk away, they'll just be like, they're like crazy. They have that. What was I gonna say? I remember before, like a week or two before I just completely stopped going to classes and just like quit, I was sitting next to my friend that was a kind of a close friend. Like, we kind of got along. We were similar. But he was like all in on the uni. He was getting good grades. He actually had a plan and a vision of running his own computer engineering business. So he's getting the value out of it. I wasn't. I was like, what am I doing? But I remember I sat before we head into lecture, and I was just like, we were waiting outside the door. We had like 5 minutes. I was looking around the people. Everyone had their headphones. Everyone was on their phone. Like, no one was I saw no life. And I turned to him and I was like, dude, like, what are we even doing here? Like, there are kids like 17, 18 years old that make like 50,000 a month doing this on social media. Like, what are we doing here? We're going to sit here and learn about resistors and then how fucking energy travels through a motherboard. Like, what is the point of this, bro? And he sort of agreed, half disagreed. Like, he had more of something to say than other people would have. But I remember that conversation so distinctly, man. I was like, what is this? I had this convo with him, and he like didn't really pick up as much as me. And then I was just like, all right, man. Like, even the person that I thought would be the closest to what I'm thinking was just kind of like lukewarm with it. I was like, I gotta get out of here, man. I did. But the sad thing the bad thing for me is my pridefulness took over, And then I just kind of like shunned all of my friends that were in uni. I was like, this isn't the way, screw that. And then when I did that for like a couple of months, that's when I hit probably the lowest low. That's when my addictions of pot and everything just went the worst.
We just have to seek other members who are also seeking to get in line. I mean, particularly, I think what I said sounded a little bit arrogant. Like, I don't want to particularly go up to everyone individually, just like, you're lesser than me. But yeah, you're not as enlightened as me because you haven't put in the effort. And a lot of people just aren't, man. And I will say, I have to say, to some extent, there's a genetic factor that plays into role here. Like, I want to make a video about that. I'm sorry, but like, not everyone's gonna make it, and there's a lot of.
I mean, if you take someone that has that genetic component and from birth you put them in an environment that fosters them, I do think you can improve it. But usually when there's a genetic component of them not being enlightened, their environment and their family environment makes it so much worse, right? It just keeps that dim. So there's no, I do think genuinely anyone that's born with, obviously if it's not like a severe brain deformity or something, child that's born in like the worst of the worst, like addicted, like an addictive substance house, bad negative self-talk and everything bad that could be wrong with that child, you take that child from a young age, put him in like a very prosperous home. I do think genetics don't play, like you can foster a child to become someone good. But usually, like I said, with that genetic component also comes with the environment. Because how do you think that genetic component was fostered and created in the first place? I genuinely believe genetics, like negative self-talk, anxiety, depression, alcohol addiction, like predisposition is sort of built into the person, into the person's DNA through their lifetime.
We all have the potential. I think we all have the potential, but some of us just certainly, like the amount of potential that we have is just going to propel us so much further in life. And I think we just have to seek other people who have that same, like, who have actually done, because I think regardless of the potential, I think the fact that we're here is because we've actually done work, we've actually done effort. Tristan's got his lawn business, you're doing your sales stuff as well. Dante is fucking killing it. Guys, I really want the group to like get to know Dante. Eventually, if he does join, dude, there's so much things in here that are like, just people who have, the reason why we're here is because we've taken action. We've actually earned our position to be able to say these things because we're actually taking action. People who have potential but just didn't ever, and even take the effort to become the people that are just
to add on to that,
more aware.
To add on to that, we've also fallen. A lot of us have had destructive tendencies, destructive vices. I mean, I think John, worst of all, right? The group leader, from what he says, like he was doing fucking acid at a young age.
He was doing acid and shrooms like a while back.
I've only done it. Yeah, I've only done it once or twice in my life.
I had like
go ahead.
Very eye-opening experiences from it, but also like I was way too fucking young to be diving in and going into that. But anyways,
I only did the mushroom caps a couple of like twice, and then both times I just like sort of became disinterested in reality for a few days. I was just like, what? It wasn't very crazy, but like obviously I'm saying this because everyone sort of has an underlying issue, underlying problem that they just let themselves get destroyed, and now we're coming back up. We have come up from the hole. Some people are in the process of coming out of the hole. But I mean, the fact that we're taking on that unsurmountable mountain to what it seems like to you in the moment when you're at the bottom, you look up top, you're like, how am I ever going to get out? The fact that you have the courage, you took the action, you are trying to get out, or you have gotten out, I think that's what connects us all. That's what gives us the sort of authority and the ability to seek other people like this and to speak about topics like this and to sort of like speak to other people, because John says or John's friend told him that this person that you're looking at, the Starbucks fat overweight 45-year-old worker, he doesn't have the same potential as you. You are so angry at him, and I'm so angry at these people that I see at my restaurant because I'm seeing myself in them, and I'm like, dude, how am I destroying my body this bad? Like, what are you doing to yourself, right? So it does. I mean, it does sound cynical. It does sound prideful, but you have to just view other people as just other people. They don't have the same potential as you, man. You can't let them bog you down.
But the good thing is that we all have the common component here. We're all on the same frequency because we're all individuals with different approaches, perhaps. And I think a lot of us are. What I see is the common theme is fitness, but I think there is an underlying common theme, and that is a mindset, because that's what John speaks it, because John projects his mindset that we can all resonate with. He's created a community around it, and as a result, he's created a community with frequency like this, which is exactly the problem for me. This is the perfect solution to the problem that I've been looking for my entire life, and I can guarantee you there's other people like like me out there looking for these communities. So that's why we have to take our effort to expand this. I think there's a lot of people who are lost in society, and there's a lot of figures that are popping up, like Andrew Tate, for example, because it's an indication that, dude, society has just neglected men and their necessities for such a long time. And we have some underlying and very, God-given, what's called
blessings and curses. Every blessing is also a curse at the same time. That's how I view it.
Yeah, there's something things that are imperative for us to do.
Yeah.
As men. But
yeah. Like a destiny.
And this could be a potential outlet. This is why I see such a tremendous potential. So I would love for this to be not, if we're going to be closing here soon, I would love for us to have, I know John didn't hop on or whatever, but I would love for us to run these member run calls, dude. Like that'd be pretty cool, man. And honestly, I can hop in. John can hop into these as well, but maybe we should take the initiative in the community to just organize yourselves and just have that interaction, all of us. I think there's only like 4 of us in the group here, but that's what I want to get. I think, dude, I was kind of a little bit like upset because I didn't see anyone commenting, dude, on the posts, for example, with groups. Like, dude, comment at least or something. Like, no one was getting back to me. I messaged a whole bunch of people that didn't respond. It was like, no, I can't. I was like, okay, well, but we have to. I know the group membership is going to go up. These meetings are going to have to start expanding. We're going to have maybe like daily to just fill in the spots because there's not many people eventually. But the thing is, like, honestly, I would love to also take the initiative. Use our own characters, like you said. Also start disagreeing if we have different perspectives. Fucking put it out there because a lot of us have different things to offer. And then we just create so much freaking value. I think something that I got from the Outwitting the Devil yesterday. Something that when people are on the same, I think when people are in the same vibration or same thought mentality, it's easy for them to go into their own filing cabinets from other people and sort them out. It's easier for us to get sorted and get our mentality sorted if we are all on the same frequency. We already have that determined. So we have no. I think it is so easy for us to get to win with this sort of advantage here. We're going to all feed back each other because we're all in the same. We don't have to determine a filter. We're already getting the people who are prepared to take action. Now we can just all organize each other as to where it would take years and years for me to find someone who is just like-minded, like me person.
And something that just came to mind now is you say like it's primarily fitness focused. Like when I'm doing cardio, when I'm like eating just like plain rice. Well, my food's never plain, but where I'm just eating rice, just some protein with it, or I'm like working out hard, or I don't want to work out, I don't want to do this. I think of the group and I think of the people that are posting their fitness physiques. I'm like, dude, what am I going to say to the group 3 months time from now when I kind of look similar, then same as now? Like I need to progress. I need to show the group how much progress I'm making. But this is for fitness. To tie into your point, if we also start posting videos and texts about like how our mindset has improved, how our discipline has improved, how our finances has improved, we will then also have to hold the standard for finances, right? If you don't feel motivated to you go door to door to do outreach for other people, and you see 4, 5, 6 people saying, "Hey, made a new sale today, did this today," it's gonna work the same as fitness. So I definitely agree. Try to either post videos or like long articles explaining your mindset development, your discipline development. Keep the fitness at it too, brothers. This is a fitness group, right? But also when you start to add those elements, like right now, there was only like John posting his 4 a.m. wake ups. Now there's 8 people. It slowly grew into this group. Now it's just mandatory. Now when I even today when I was at it was 5 o'clock and the fucking alarm was ringing, I was like, oh, and I was exhausted, I had a headache and everything. I said, dude, what the I can't miss my picture. I can't miss my morning walk picture. I just impossible for me to do so. It's just built in now. So if we fitness is also good when helps me push through fitness. We just got to do more mindset and more fitness related goals and achievements that we take, and dude, it's just kind of keep the group motivated.
Like personally, I think qualified to a sales lesson because I think sales can help all of us. I think a lot of people are asking about sales. Like I think I should be qualified enough to give you guys like a good sales lesson and how it fits into your life and how it's tied into my life. I want to be honest here. I think I am in some ways very much ahead of a lot of the group just because of the situation that I put myself in going to Mexico. Obviously, maybe not in terms of age, but maybe some of because these guys are younger and they haven't done that. But dude, I've been trying to actualize and like find my path and align myself for a very, very long time, and I think I've done a really good job at it. That's why I had a JDM import business at like 19 or 20 years old. No one had that. I was driving cars that everyone was like, "Oh my god, look at that car and taking pictures," and I was just like normal driving my dog on the left side, and people were like, "So
that's good."
You know, just that sort of thing. But like, I think there's so much things I want to provide in the group. We can all provide. We can all provide.
Damn, okay.
You have a ton of things that you can provide too, Saba. Dante has tons of things, dude. Tristan, you can start doing the lawn shit, dude. I think if you there's 3 people in the group who are already have lawn businesses, dude.
Yeah, we got a GC going. Also, like the lawn shit's not something I want to like stay with. It's just something to get money so I can invest into other businesses.
Yeah,
me and my boy are working on this clothing brand, and then also with like content as well, but I'm also saving for a camera. But it's just all shit that's gonna build on each other, and if I start now, I feel like I'll get, you know, prepared for the other businesses I take on, and you know, just have like something that, you know, that I've learned as well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, man, I'm excited for all the value that we can provide here, dude. All the shit that we can do. Stuff that we can do. Get ourselves, you know, just really, really just, we're going to become absolute warriors, man.
And everyone's different. And we all got different value to bring. And some people are experienced in other niches than others, like how Michael is with sales and stuff like that. And everyone else, like we all can lean into our nature, grow ourselves that way, and then help fill other people that don't have that, you know? Like,
we're all distinct characters, man. We can all be potential sources to look at for different sorts of people who come into the group. Maybe some people are more like focused on making money, dude, but we can have that. We're going to reach a larger group also of potential people if we have those examples. We just have to define our own characters, keep on doing what we're learning in this group, man. And I think it's going to be awesome, the amount of things that we can do.
It's going to be crazy.
Watching this, bro. I'm make sure he watches this.
Yeah. One thing I told John, it's like obviously at the end of the program that we have, or at the end of after a couple of months, we're gonna do like testimonials and stuff. And in my testimonials, I'm trying to relate to like a specific group of people that are much like me. I'm trying to speak to them rather than just a general audience. Like I'm definitely going to speak to a different group than Tristan is, than you are, than Austin is, and Dante is, right? So you sort of just develop yourself, develop your character through this group, actualize your character, and then use that characteristics of your character to draw other people that would like to be you. That would be fucking incredible, because John speaks like me. He thinks like me, and that's the only reason I actually started working with him one-on-one and joined the school, community calls, because I'm like, wow, this guy is so much like me. He speaks raw. He understands everything. But if it was like fucking Hamza, for example, he speaks to like 9-year-olds, right? I'm like, what the fuck do I have to learn from? What do I have to learn from this guy, right? He's speaking to children.
I was gonna start my like online coaching thing from one of his videos, but like, you know,
it's just like, it's definitely not it, man. It's just not who I am. It's not the character I want to become. I'm trying to become character like that John has adapted. Obviously different because I'm a different person, but just trying to think of different ways to like make videos or like promote this group. Like you said, there's definitely going to be some sort of like affiliate. There's going to be like an affiliate opportunity or something like that.
Affiliates, bro. We absolutely have to. That's we can figure that out in a day. I can guarantee you. You know what I would like for us to do to take from this call, the call to action for today, is for us to try to talk to John. John doesn't respond to me in the group or whatever. But dude, let's try to talk to John. Like I really want to get John just at least on like a 5-minute call or whatever to see, or not even a 5-minute call, just inform him how we can get the affiliate stuff out, because dude, that's gonna help us grow tremendously. Like I said, I already have like potential people who could join this group, and I'm like I really want them to join this group. And I think the affiliate would really, you know, be a really good incentive for us to do that, and also just like help them out too. So
I'd for sure be down to push the tribe and stuff. I'd be pushing it on to my friends as well. I just got one of my IRL friends in, Jordan, and excited for him to take the value from this and grow. But for sure, like if he's down with it, I'd be down to start pushing the tribe and I'm also gonna start making content on YouTube as well, but from fucking webcam. But I want a camera.
I'll put a post in here. Oh, I'm gonna post this. Obviously, you guys, if we can all post this, by the way, like, because I want people to see this. I think the people that didn't get to
No,
hop
for
on, I want
sure.
them to see this as well, just in the group. Like maybe you can post it, maybe I can post it as well. This call, I'm gonna send you guys the recording because I'm still recording.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
for all of us to see that we took the initiative to make this call of ourselves, even if John didn't hop in, but also just see some of the ideas, some of the things that we're talking about here. Also for John to see it and give us his feedback, whatever.
Because I know for a fact there are people that
Right.
like can't join the call, but they listen to it all, the whole fucking thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's good. That's what we want. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
man.
definitely send that over. I'll tag John. I'll tag other people in. Just say, watch this, do this. All right.
Yeah.
Holy shit, 2.5 hours. Usually
Yes,
like the
sir.
other metaphors go. God damn, dude, you're cooking up in that car, aren't you? Jesus.
No,
All right.
it's
Oh,
cold as
dude, you've been in the
fuck.
car the entire time. I gotta go to work,
Oh, yeah.
guys. I gotta go. I got an
Yeah.
important
All
meeting.
right, bro.
Yeah, I got
Take care.
meals.
This was awesome. Dante, I better
Alright.
see you in the group soon. Austin, you're still working
See you,
out.
Austin.
Jesus, man. That's crazy.
Dante,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully you
See you,
can
boys.
become part of this group too. No pressure though, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take care, guys.
Well, y'all boys have a good one.
Yeah. Better do fucking
See you
cardio.
guys. Bye.